While waiting for that green light to get us going, and we are live. Hey guys, how you going? So BK Sport, we are live for a bit of a troll night because the Panthers are playing absolutely nobody. Yes, what was looking like was going to be an absolute belter of a game. An absolute belter of a game has turned into a schmozzle. Yep, no, it has turned into an absolute schmozzle, where if the Bulldogs don't win this game by 100 points to nil, then I think we just give up. I think it's time that we just put... Actually, look, Bulldogs fans, if you lose this game, you're going straight from fraud alert, and you're going straight to scam. And you know what? You know what I'm going to do? We've been here for 2 seconds, and I'm putting the Panthers on fraud alert. I'm putting the Panthers on fraud alert. They deserve it for the sake of the fact they've lost their last 2 games against 2 good opposition teams, and now they have the audacity to waste our Thursday night footy. They waste our Thursday night footy. And I promised you guys last week that we would wear one of these traditional Vietnamese damn well hats. So you know what? I thought this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it, thanks to Ivan Cleary and the Penrith Panthers literally removing every single player from their team for this game here tonight. And if the Panthers win, gee whiz, I'll put my hand up and I'll say sorry, Penrith. I'll say I deeply apologise, but you are absolutely on fraud alert before the game even starts. Before the game even starts here. And that's just as simple as that. But let's get into this game here today. First off, we'll talk about the games that are on this weekend. We'll be live for every single game. Then we'll talk about the Bulldogs versus whatever this Panthers team is, and then we'll get into the ladder, and then we'll see what you guys say in the chat. The game does start in about 20 minutes' time, so hit that thumbs up button, subscribe for new round here, and let's get into it. So, tonight, we have the Bulldogs, who play the Panthers. What was looking like an absolute massive matchup has turned into a fizzler. This is at Core Stadium in Sydney. Then tomorrow, we have Warriors versus Eels. Massive game there for the Warriors to keep their top 4 hopes alive, whilst the Eels, they're not really playing for anything. They're a bit in purgatory for the rest of this season. They've been playing some pretty good footy, but the Warriors, they really desperately need to win that. Then we've got a belter between the Storm and the Roosters tomorrow night. That is a huge matchup. Saturday, we've got Raiders versus the Tigers. Raiders, obviously, dependent on that Storm-Roosters game, will still need to be fighting for their minor premiership, because the Storm can jump them with a win over the Roosters, and would jump them with a win over the Roosters, so the Raiders absolutely need to win that game. Tigers, their season is all but done after that loss to the Cowboys. They were looking like they could have technically, mathematically kept their season alive, but unfortunately threw it away in the end. So they're kind of in purgatory, but they've had a great season regardless. But the Raiders, they'd be fighting for their minor premiership down there in Canberra. The Dragons and Manly, and also, mind you, if the Storm do lose to the Roosters tomorrow night, then the Raiders will be playing to officially get that minor premiership in first position. Then you got on Saturday the Dragons versus Manly. Dragons season, they're in purgatory, whilst the Manly Sea Eagles, they've been given a lifeline. The Dolphins lost last week, the Roosters lost last week, Manly obviously beat the Dolphins, and they put themselves back into the hunt. It's not an easy hunt by any stretch of the imagination, but if the Roosters do lose to the Storm, and Manly do beat the Dragons, then Manly will be equal with the top 8. They will be equal in 8th position, and then just have to hope, one, that the Roosters lose to the Rabbitohs the week after, or they benefit their points differential, and that the Titans do beat the Dolphins. So, you know, Manly's season is still alive here, and it's not easy, but it is possible for them to get into the 8 still. Then you got the Cowboys versus the Broncos, a big Queensland derby rivalry game. Broncos fighting for the top 4. They're guaranteed for the top 8 after the Dolphins lost last week. And also with the Broncos beating the Knights. So the Broncos, they're fighting for top 4. Cowboys, their season is in purgatory in 12th. And then on Sunday, we have 2 games of Sharks versus the Knights. Sharks still fighting for a top 4 spot as well. They're all but guaranteed for the top 8, just like the Broncos are. Whilst the Knights, they need a win to stop themselves from getting the spoon. Because although they're not in last place right now, they're in 16th, their points differential is actually worse off than the Titans. So if the Sharks do beat the Knights in this game, and the follow-up game, the Titans beat the Dolphins, the Knights would actually be in last place with 1 round to go, and they would need to win that, otherwise they would get a spoon. So the Knights, their season, they really need to try and fire up now that Adam O'Brien has been let go, and they're going into a new direction. But then again, we go to the Titans game here, and the Titans, they play the Dolphins at Suncorp Stadium. Really big game there for both teams. The Dolphins obviously playing for a top 8 last-ditch chance, considering that Roosters lost last week, and they lost, but if they get a win there is a genuine opportunity they could actually go into the top 8 with a Roosters loss to the Storm, and it doesn't really matter what Manly do because their points differential is worse off than them. So the Dolphins do have a legitimate chance to go into the top 8 this weekend with a win, but the Titans, they're obviously trying to avoid the spoon. We all know we had a live stream this week where we spoke about Des Hasler being let go, Josh Hannay coming in, and now they're making a few changes. Scotty Sattler becoming the director of football, so Titans have got a bit of something to maybe push them over the line in these last 2 games to try and get, a little bit of pride about the club, but we'll see how that one goes. And then obviously the Rabbitohs do have the bye. So overall, this weekend, there's a few big games, and there's a lot riding on the line for teams like, well, the Bulldogs and Panthers, but then again, the Panthers, they've just given up, basically. The Warriors have a lot to play for. Storm and Roosters, Raiders, Manly, Broncos, Sharks, Knights, and also Dolphins, Titans. So there's still quite a few teams that have a lot to play for. But let's get into this game here tonight, guys, between the Canterbury Bulldogs and the Penrith Panthers. Now, this is the Bulldogs in 3rd position, the Panthers in 7th position, and with a win here today, the Bulldogs would guarantee themselves for a top 4 finish. Even though they're pretty much in the top 4 regardless, they would guarantee themselves for a top 4 finish. If they were to lose here today, and then also, actually, we'll get into the later in a second, but if they lose here today and the Sharks game, and say the Warriors won their 2 remaining, and the Broncos won their 2 remaining, the Bulldogs would actually still drop into 5th position. So, although I do have them staying in 3rd position, point of the matter is Bulldogs' top 4 is not actually locked up until they win tonight. The Panthers, they come into this game from 7th position, and this is at Accor Stadium in Sydney. Now, the ins here for the Bulldogs, much less than the Panthers. Daniel Saluka-Fafita and Anari Tuala, with the outs being Harry Hayes and Vili Bombili Viliami Kickout. The fullback is Connor Tracy, with the wingers being Jacob Kiraz and Marcelo Montoya. Centres of Bronson Seri and Stephen Crichton, who is the captain. 5'8", Matt Burton, with the halfback being Lachlan Galvin. The front rowers are Maxi King and Samuel Hughes. And the number 9 is Bailey Hayward. You go to the back row, it's Josh Curran and Jacob Preston, with the 13 being Jamin Salmon. Then the interchange is Kurt Mann, Satilia Tupanua, Daniel Saluka-Fafita, and Reid Marnie, with the 18th man replacement being Anari Tuala. And the coach is Cameron Serraldo. There is no excuses tonight, Bulldogs. There is no excuses. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear Jack. I don't want to hear nothing, Jack. Nada, sweet, buddy, nothing about a loss tonight. If you lost tonight, you nearly get removed from the table. You'd nearly skip straight past bloody scam. You'd nearly just get straight up removed from the table if you lost this game here today. You have a full strength, basically a full strength team. But then again, people on this channel do like to be very extremely pedantic about one player being out, which is Viliami Kickout. But at the end of the day, the Bulldogs are fully healthy. Like, they just simply are. They should not be losing this game. They should be winning this game by a country mile, son. They should be already in Bali celebrating the win. And then they can come back for next week's game against the Sharks. Dear me, this Bulldogs team, you lose tonight, we give up on you. We give up, especially after the fact that, look, this is why this game was meant to be a huge game. In recent weeks, we've been talking all about what the Panthers have been doing. But in regards to the Bulldogs, they've had a little bit of a slippery slope themselves. Last week, they obviously took on the Melbourne Storm and lost 20-14 down there at Amy Park in Melbourne. The week beforehand, they lost the Roosters 32-12. So they're on a 2-game losing streak right now. And against the Roosters, who have had good form, despite their loss to the Eels last week. But, those are 2 decent enough teams there. And the Roosters and the Storm, obviously the Storm are a very good team. They have lost both of them, and it's not helping. They can't really beat the top end of the table teams on a consistent level. Like, yeah, they beat the Raiders, but they also gave up a big start in the first half, 20-0. Came back to win 32-20, long time ago, long time between drinks. However, that game was all the way back on the Saturday, the 10th of May. So that game that everyone tries to refer to is back on the 10th of May. Which is a long time between drinks, like I said. So, the Bulldogs still have a lot to prove, and tonight, realistically, they should be winning by 20-30 plus if they're going to prove a lot. But ultimately, it has been good that they have had harder and more difficult opponents coming into the finals, because their last win comes against the Warriors, 32-14. Warriors very vulnerable. They have been for about 2-3 months now, realistically, but they won 32-14, and then they have falls in these last 2 games. Then they play the Panthers and the Sharks. Now, this Panthers team tonight, not the same, but the point is that they're taking on the top 8 teams in these last 5 games that are really kind of getting a bit of a motor on into the finals, which you'd hope, and that's why they need to use this as a big momentum push tonight with this Panthers game. And then next week against the Sharks might still be fighting for the top 4. The Bulldogs season might be just kind of complete in regards to where their ladder position is going to be in 3rd position, because I can't see the Storm losing both their remaining 2 games, and then that points differential swinging. So the Bulldogs can't finish above 3rd, but they can still technically finish in 5th position. They can still technically finish in 6th position here, the Bulldogs, which is quite interesting. But overall, Bulldogs, they should win tonight. Now the Panthers, okay guys, I want you to chuck your seatbelt on. I want you to chuck your seatbelt on. I want you to put your feet up. I want you to, grab a beer and just relax, because we're going to be here for 3 hours talking about their ins and outs. Their ins: Austin Diaz, Billy Phillips, Dane Laurie, David Foley, Jack Cole, Jackson Edgar, Jesse McLean, Luke Summerton, Luron Patea, Matthew Eisenhuth, Maverick Guy, Preston Ricky, Riley Price, Sione Fanua, Sonny Luke, and Zach Lipowicz. That is their ins. Now, their outs today. Blaze Salungi, Brian To'o, Casey McLean, Dylan Edwards, Isaiah Yo, Isaiah Papali'i, Isaac Tungo, Liam Henry, Liam Martin, Lindsay Smith, Luke Garner, Mitch Kenny, Moses Leota, Nathan Cleary, Scott Sorensen, and Thomas Jenkins. Okay, Ivan Cleary. Is Ivan Cleary having a rest tonight? Is Peter Wallace the coach here tonight, or what? We're giving Ivan Cleary, let him go play mini golf or something. Just let him go play mini golf. Now, the fullback is Dane Laurie, the wingers of Jesse McLean and Paul Alamotti, centres of Sione Fanua and David Foley. The 5'8" is Jack Cole, the halfback of Brad Schneider, with the front row forwards being Luron Patea and Austin Diaz. The number 9 is Luke Summerton. Back row, Zach Lipowicz and Maverick Geyer, with the 13 being Matthew Eisenhuth, who is the captain. Interchange with Sonny Luke, Preston Ricky, Riley Price, and Billy Phillips, with the 18th man replacement being Jackson Edgar, and the coach is Ivan Cleary. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Have we decided to stream a New South Wales Cup game, or are we streaming New South Wales Cup? I think we're streaming a New South Wales Cup game. It's really nice. Actually, no, I've got to give commendations here to the Canterbury Bulldogs for, deciding to go down and play in the New South Wales Cup for a week, just to kind of get them a little bit more focus for the finals. Really nice of them to take their time out of their heavy schedule to play this New South Wales Cup team. But listen, there's not really too much to say here, lads. There's not too much to say. Now, I will put it out there. Now, Manchester United, shout out to you here. We did see a 4th Division English football team in Grimsby Town beat a Premier League team, well, debatable Premier League team, but a Premier League team, Man United, this morning, right? So anything can happen. We could see an absolute underdog story for the ages here. And I will always say that at the end of the day, these are professional players. They are still contracted, they are still paid professional players here for the Penrith Panthers, and they are still a part of the roster of this team that makes up the team. Now, they don't have their Clearys, they don't have their Brian To'os, they don't have their Dylan Edwards, which actually could be a positive considering his recent form. They don't have their Liam Martins and all these kind of guys, Isaiah Yo. But it's not that I haven't seen stranger things happen. We saw Leicester win the whole Premier League in 2016. We've seen crazy things happen. So, would I put it completely out of my thought process that the Panthers could come in here and be the typical underdog story, the big underdog story, whilst the Bulldogs come in thinking it's going to be an easy walkover? That is a possibility. I'm not going to back in the possibility. I'm not going to say that possibility is going to happen. But I wouldn't say that it's impossible, right? Because the Bulldogs could completely come in and think that, we've got this game won. We're taking on a bunch of melons. We've already won the game. But then the Panthers come in and say, hey, listen, we're not a bunch of melons here, son. Dane Laurie still played quite a few games for the Panthers. Jesse McLean's played quite a few games for the Panthers. Paul Alamotti used to play for the Bulldogs and has been solid for the Panthers when he does get a crack. It's just that their team is usually so good that he can't get in there, especially on the wing. And then you got the 5'8" Jack Cole. He's been 5'8" for a long time there, a lot of the time. Brad Schneider's had plenty of football himself. Luron Patea's had a couple of games on the bench. Summerton is in and out occasionally. Maverick Guy hasn't really gotten too much of an opportunity, but Matty Eisenhuth is relatively irregular. He's a regular. He's a regular. Sonny Luke was their starting 9 for a lot of, I think it was last year or the year before. Might have been last year. But the point of the matter is that there's no excuses for the Dogs here today. So I'm going to say 13 plus, and if the Panthers come in as the underdog story and get a massive win here, well then, shit me drunk and call me Stacey. What else do you want me to do? What has anyone actually got the brass balls to go and put money on the line for the Panthers tonight? Have you? Because there'd be big odds. I can't see the odds being over here in Vietnam, but there'd be big odds right now. There'd be big odds. So if you have the brass balls to go and do it, good luck to you. And I wish you well. I wish you damn well. So I'm going to take Bulldogs by a cricket score. Now, the ladder positioning here for both these teams, the Panthers, they're on 31 points. They're in 7th position. Who cares about their plus 111 unless there was a draw here tonight? But they've got plus 111 points differential just for the shits and gigs. 31 points. Now, if they win today, they would go above the Sharks into 6th. They would also go above the Broncos into 5th position. And then if the Warriors did lose this weekend to... who did the Warriors play this weekend? The Warriors played the Eels, that's right. Warriors were to lose the Eels, it would put the Panthers back up into the equation for a top 4 spot, but it is still extremely doubtful after their last 2 losses against the Melbourne Storm and also the Canberra Raiders in excruciating fashion in extra times. But with that being said, the Broncos do still get to play the Cowboys and the Sharks play the Knights, so you'd expect both the Broncos and Sharks to win those games, which would mean that the Panthers, even with a win here today, would finish off in 7th position. Whilst if they lose this game, they will stay in 7th position. There is no chance they could fall out of the 8 based off of that Dolphins loss last week. But the Roosters, if they were to win against the Storm, they would go 1 point short of the Panthers and put the Panthers at risk of going into 8th position. Not that I think they give too much of a shit between 7th and 8th, and I don't even really think they care about playing a home final because obviously CommBank isn't actually their home. You know, they're playing out of CommBank this year because Penrith is getting a massive refurbishment. So I think that's also a big reason as to why they don't really care too greatly about getting a home final, and they've been here and they've done it before, so they know what they're doing. But they usually get the double chance game, which they win, and they usually get a week off. So this is a bit of a different story for Penrith this year. But the point of the matter is, they win, they can finish as high as 5th, but it's more likely they'll finish in 7th. With a loss, they will stay in 7th, but it will mean the Roosters could potentially get closer to them to drop them down a spot. On the other side of the table, you've got the Bulldogs on 3rd position with 36 points. Now, they've got a plus 114 points differential. The Storm are 4 points clear of them right now after the Dogs have lost to the Roosters and the Storm in consecutive weeks, which means the Storm being 4 points above and with a plus 258 points differential, they would have to be about a 144 points differential swing between the Storm results and the Bulldogs results for them to get into 2nd position, and that's across 2 games. I don't see it happening. So basically, Bulldogs fans, you're not finishing in 2nd or 1st. You will finish in 3rd, but if you do lose this game, then maybe you don't finish in 3rd because the Warriors, with a win, they won't jump you, but they would go to 36 points, which is equal with you, and then the points differential, Warriors points differential is poor at plus 26 to your 114. And that depended on how much you lost by. But the Warriors would go equal with you, and then it would come down to that final round against the Sharks for the Bulldogs. And the Warriors, I think, play the Dragons, if I'm not mistaken. No, Panthers play Dragons next week. Who do the Warriors play next week? Oh, the game hasn't started yet, guys. But in round 27, the Warriors finish off the season against Manly, which could be a huge game. That could be an absolutely huge game if Manly do go on to win this week against the St. George Illawarra Dragons. So, look, point matter is that Bulldogs, if you lose this game, you're not going to drop into 4th position, but you would be equal with the Warriors, and then it would come down to the Broncos. If they won their game and the Sharks won their game, they'd be 2 points short of you. And then there is a potential with the Broncos points differential of plus 148 and the Sharks not being too far away from you on plus 67, that you could still drop as far as 6th, especially if the Sharks go and beat the Bulldogs next week, which would really hurt them. So, look, I think the Bulldogs win today, so it's kind of just pointless to even be talking about this, but I do have to let you know about the scenario around. So, ultimately, that's the draw. That's the potential score. That's the team lineups. God help us today. You know, what are we going to watch? What are we going to watch? But guys, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. We're ready to rock and roll here for another week. But please let's just hope it's not as bad as it looks like it's going to be, because it does look like it's going to be. Jeez, this chat's been moving fast. I have to scroll all the way back. But hit that thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here. And let's get into it. All right, Olivia Reed with the $8 donation says, nice hat. Did you paint it? No. So I could have gotten one of the typical rice hats out there, like the white ones. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to represent Vietnam. Vietnamese. You can get a bit of Vietnamese flag hat on me right now. You know, I may as well just fit in. I might as well just fit in here. And I would have done it over on like a Sunday slate of games, but one, the Titans play on Sunday, and this is red, and they play the Dolphins, so that's an absolute damn well no. But also because Ivan's a bit of a troll here today, a little bit of a trolly, we've decided that we're just going to do it today. Just going to do it today, son. But thank you very much, Olivia, for the donation. Jace says, long day in the rice fields, mate. Yeah, long day. Long day. KJ Sports says, are you putting the Bulldogs in the scam if the Panthers win? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to do it twice on Thursdays. Twice on Thursdays. Every single day of the week, but twice on Thursdays will I put the Bulldogs into scam if they lose this game. And Dazmate's been begging for it for weeks. Dazmate, the Bulldogs fan here on the channel, has been begging for it. He's been pleading for weeks to put the Bulldogs in scam. And I said, whoa, can't do it, mate. Cannot do it. But I can do it if they lose this game here today. I definitely can. Breezy says Panthers still embarrassed after that last loss. Sure, but they've also proven that they don't really care too much because They've just decided to rest their entire team. They've just decided to rest everyone. They've decided to rest everyone. This is the least experienced lineup from any NRL team in the NRL era from 1998 to 2025. It is 57 games less than the Broncos in 2002. And the Broncos actually won that game with 455 games between collectively. So, again, there's potential. We have seen a baby Broncos lineup from 2002 do what we saw, I think, last year or the year beforehand, where Tristan Saylor decided to dominate the New Zealand Warriors over there in Auckland or Christchurch. I can't remember. But the Broncos did it against the Warriors when they had a heap of origin players out and a heap of injuries. So, we've seen crazy things happen, son. But this would be crazy because the Bulldogs, they need to bounce back after 2 straight losses. They just simply do. Davis says, love the hat, Blaze. Mate, I'm flying. I am flying. Justin Button says, Buller brother, go to Warrior. David says, yes, Ben, agreed. Charlotte, hello. David says, usually the minor premiership is all sorted out by now. Well, usually everything's pretty much sorted out by now, except for maybe the top 8, but the wooden spoon hasn't been decided yet, top 4 hasn't been decided yet, top 8 hasn't been decided yet, and the minor premiership hasn't been decided yet, so everything's at play. There's a lot of teams in purgatory, like teams like the Cowboys, teams like the Tigers, teams like the Dragons, the Eels, the Rabbitohs, but Titans and Knights both playing it out for that spoon. Manly, Dolphins, Roosters playing out for the top 8. Technically Panthers, but Sharks, Broncos, Warriors, and technically Bulldogs fighting it out for the top 4, and then just the Raiders and Storm fighting it out for that minor premiership. So everything's at play here, man. Everything is at play, but the game is about to start. Here. I'm going to refresh that before Jay starts flipping out in the chat. He'll flip out if I don't get that live score going. But the Panthers will be kicking this ball off here, and it will be the Bulldogs running it out from the 3. They give it off to Max King off the back, Fancy Bushka to the 15. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. I'm going to have to skip past a lot of these comments because there is a lot, and I will be really late to talking to the live stream if I read through all of them, to be fair. Sans, it's nice to see you calling the game, brother. Said I'm always here, mate. Every single game. Second tackle for the Bulldogs, and they're at the 15. Bailey Hayward to the left-hand side of Matt Burton. And Burton, third tackle at the 25. Breezy says Seagulls. Yeah, Seagulls aren't playing here today. Breezy. No, not playing. They are not playing here today. Seb Watson says Panthers. Seb's got me on his profile picture. Seb Watson says Panthers 13 plus. Good to see them putting their gun team out and finally dropping those other shitters. Yeah, valid thought process. But Dane Laurie for the Panthers will pick it up at the 20 and bring it out to the 30 here on first tackle. Ben says Casey has mixed nuts. Okay, that's a bit weird. Alfred says Dogs are lately dropping because of Lachlan Galvin. Not because of Lachlan Galvin. Yeah, sure, Galvin is a part of the broken puzzle right now, but it's not just because of Lachlan Galvin. It's also because the organisation decided to make big changes when they were top of the table overall. Letting go Toby Sexton, basically letting go Reid Marnie, changing Reid Marnie out of the team, changing Toby Sexton out of the team, bringing Lachlan Galvin in. Now there's word and rumours around that maybe they might be releasing Matty Burton to go to the Perth Bears. The Bulldogs, what are you doing? What are they doing? They just want to be in the media spotlights. When you're at the top of the table, you don't want to be in the media spotlight. Take a note out of the Canberra Raiders book. They love to fly under the radar. Ricky Stewart does a great job with that. He might be a wank at other teams, but if you're a Raiders fan, you absolutely adore Ricky Stewart. And the way that the Raiders operate this year specifically, they really do encapsulate the fact that no one really thinks about Canberra. Canberra's a place that people don't really talk about or think about. So, they've done beautifully this year. And they haven't been in the media spotlight. They haven't been too heavily out there. And that's why the Raiders are going so well. And the Bulldogs make a mistake here. It's a knock-on. It is a knock-on from the Dogs at the 30. And the Panthers are going to get the first attack of the game. Doggies, don't do it. Don't do it, doggy. Woof, woof. Do not make Dogs fans crash out here today. Don't do it. You can't. You can't possibly lose today here, Panthers. Bulldogs. You can't. You can't do it. Do it 3 times on Thursdays. Real fans, well, maybe I'll do it 5 times on Thursdays. Maybe. But that's a knock-on from the Dogs, and the Panthers are going to get an opportunity 30 metres out. Everyone says, can't wait for a billion questions about Des Hasler. Well, you can just, if anyone has any questions about Des Hasler and whatnot, please just go and watch the live stream that I did on Monday, where I spoke all things Des Hasler, Scott Sattler, halves, everything. Everything about Titans. There's a whole stream about it. Second tackle here at the 22 for the Panthers. And they're going to roll it back here too. I think it's Luke Summerton. This is going to be a difficult game to call based off of players. And Maverick Guy, I think, with the ball at the 20. Oh, gee whiz, this is going to be difficult today. It was Maverick Guy. Panthers here, 4 tackle, 13 metres out. Fire up Panthers for a big upset here. Fire up Panthers. Jack Cole, and that's going to be a bad play the ball. So let's not fire up Panthers. Let's not fire up. Sean James, that is a sensational hat. I have one as well, mate. Well, you are in Thailand, so it would make sense. Would make sense. Olivia says there's a stream about it on Monday if you want to know about it all. Exactly right, Olivia. Thank you for pointing that out. Steve says Panthers getting flogged tonight. Well, you'd expect so, but the Bulldogs in his first 4 minutes have already made a mistake. So have the Panthers, but the Panthers are expected to do that, whilst the Bulldogs... Oh, that's a bad play the ball. That's a bad play the ball. They didn't call it, though. Second tackle of the Bulldogs at the 25 on their own side of the field. Dad says, what have I just joined? You have just joined an Ivan Cleary special, mate. An Ivan Cleary special. And penalty to the Bulldogs at the 35. Penalty to the Bulldogs. Dad's says, you in China now? Mate, this is a Vietnamese flag, and this is a Vietnamese hat. So how dare you? How dare you consider a comparison with China, mate? What are you doing? What are you doing? What do you think this is? Brady says, I was just saying who the Warriors play next week. Oh, fair enough. Real Fan Sports says, how many super chats for you to spin on the hat like a top? How many for me to spin on the hat like a top? Gee whiz, it's going to take a lot of super chats for that to happen. It's going to take a lot of super chats for that. Everyone says, what's up, RFF? Still waiting for you to become a Gold Coast fan. He is a Gold Coast fan. He just pretends like he's a Tigers fan, but it's really exciting at the Titans right now. Third tackle at the 28. He can pretend all he likes, but, you know, ultimately he knows that the Gold Coast is where he wants to call home rather than Campbelltown. Bulldogs now, 18 metres out from the line. Fourth tackle, 5 minutes in. Jacob Preston rolls it at Bailey Hayward, then off to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin off to Salmon. Salmon short ball, Max King, and he'll be 5 metres away from the line. Fifth tackle. Fifth tackle over the Dogs. Bailey Hayward, he'll get it all the way across to Galvin. Galvin, then it gets it across to Crichton. Crichton goes at himself, and he will get taken down to the 4. Okay, Dogs, don't like that. Don't like that. Bree says, I was just saying it, that's right. And now Olivia's got me as a profile picture. Lovely. And Casey too. Gee whiz. Can we not do this? Because it's going to confuse the living shit out of me in this chat. Penalty to the Panthers on first tackle coming out of their own 10. That's huge. Samuel Hughes gives away a huge penalty there to Penrith. And Dogs off to a bit of a shaky start here. Nate says, uh-oh, pressure, pressure. Doggy, doggy, woof, woof, pressure, pressure. Pressure, pressure. Jessica says, doggy, woof. Dog, you're not woofing right now. A little bit like a... Ooh, that's basically it we're getting from the Dogs right now, but it's still very, very early. All right, so the Panthers will be first tackle, and they'll get this ball to the 38. First tackle. Olivia says he's on Big Brother. You don't know him, Brenton. Fair enough. Second tackle here at the 45. Kogamoos, have Dogs lose tonight? You got anything bigger than Scam Alert? Yeah, we remove him from the table. No, we'll put him on Scam, but you know, you could think about removing him. You could think about just removing him from the table. Fourth tackle here for the Panthers. They get the offload away, and that's going to be Dogs knock on. The Panthers get the offload backwards, and then the Dogs will knock it on. So it's going to be a fresh set of 6 here at the 45 from a scrum. Zakor says, hi, BKR Sport. Josh Hannay reply. Yeah, okay, mate. Yeah, thank you for letting me know about Des Hasler as Gold Coast Titans coach being fired for 23-6 with Josh Hannay coming in. I'm very well aware of that, Zakor, but thank you for letting me thank you for letting me know. I did an entire stream about it on Monday. Dasmate says, 10-day contract player slipping on a Mario Kart banana peel. Real Fan Sports is my guy, Jay. What's good? Oh, no. What has Jay said? What has Jay said? No, Jay's just dropped the link to the Des Hasler live stream, exactly. Can't go wrong with Cantong. Okay. Best Sports says, who wins this Panthers team or the current Titans team? Also, cool Beyblade hat. Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate. And I'm going to have to go with the Titans team from this year, 2011. Second tackle now for the Panthers, and they're at the 35. They go right-hand side, and Matty Eisenhuth, it's Schneider off, and the Panthers will be 30 metres out here through Fanua. Third tackle. Roll it back to Dane Laurie. Laurie off to Schneider. Schneider back inside, and now they'll be 23 metres out for tackle. Hey, Dogs, what we doing here, lads? What we doing? Panthers are having it their own way with the team from New South Wales Cup. Dane Laurie! Dane Laurie! Oh, 1 metre short of the line. Fifth tackle. Oh, here we go. Here we go. They go right inside. They kick it through, and Marcelo Montoya slaps the ball away for a dropout. Slaps it away. Real Fan Sports says the Gold Coast Poland makes a really nice doormat. I'll give you that. Yeah, nice win against the Cowboys last week, Real Fan Sport. It was really nice to see the Tigers lead by 12 with 15 minutes to go. That was awesome. Nate J says Crichton is a tosser. Why? Why did Crichton get called a tosser? Dasmate says, why aren't we up by 30 by now? That's a great question. So Matt Burton, he'll go for the short-ish dropout, but it's just going to go to the 18, and Dane Laurie will pick it up. So first tackle here for the Panthers, 18 metres away from the Dogs line. They go to Jack Cole. Cole short ball inside to Maverick Geyer, and he'll be 8 metres out now from the line. Second tackle. Second touch, 6 again for the Panthers. It's going to be Brad Schneider. And now Luron Patea, he's 10 metres out in first tackle. This is such a hard hat to wear when you've got headphones on, by the way. So Matty Eisenhuth. And now the Panthers will be 5 metres out, second tackle, 4 metres out, second tackle. Olivia says, I said this earlier, but if I was a Panthers fan attending this game, I'd be pissed. Well, maybe not right now. Schneider, he'll get away from one tackle, but then he'll get slapped by Matt Burton at the 15. 10 minutes gone here, guys. 30 minutes to go in the first half. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. We'll be live for every single game this week, baby. Every single game. 4 tackle, 12 metres away. Eisenhuth rolls the bat. Now it's going to be Jack Cole. Cole off to Dane Laurie. Laurie to Brad Schneider. Brad Schneider over the top, and that's an intercept. That was an absolutely ridiculous pass. That'll be an easy intercept for the Dogs, and now it's going to be second tackle for them at the 20. And penalty to the Dogs. We're seeing a few penalties here today. Dasmate says, is that your Gold Coast Suns hat? Yeah, you know what? You can call it my Sunnies hat. You can call it my Gold Coast Suns hat. Get around the Sunnies. What a win last night. 100 points. I know it's against a Essendon team that literally played out of Antarctica, but at the end of the day, they got a big win. Ibrahim says, how much points would Panthers have to win by to remove Doggies off the table? 1. Infinite Kiwi says, because betting has been suspended. Daz, Jossie Parsons, I don't know who's under more pressure, Dogs or Baby Riff. Well, you can't put this Baby Riff under pressure. You can't put this Penrith team under any pressure. There's no way, no expectation of them even getting closer tonight. But the first 10 minutes is showing the Dogs are coming a little bit underprepared so far. So go to Jamin Salmon. Salmon over to Lachlan Galvin, and he's dropped the ball. This is going to be a Panthers knock-on. Panthers knock-on. Very, very lucky there for the Dogs. Nate J says, Dogs are taking this team way too easy. That's a big mistake. Totally right. Olivia says, so funny watching you readjust the hat every 2 minutes. Yeah, because it keeps like slipping. It's really difficult. It's really difficult. Tomorrow can't come soon enough when I'm not wearing a hat. Elise Sherwood says, go to the Dogs. Steve says, Doggies will win by 30. Well, it's not looking likely right now, but it's still, again, extremely early. Yeah, it isn't 100 points to nil. No, it's not 100 points to nil just yet, Ibrahim. Not just yet. Josh Curran, though, with a great run, gets this ball to the 45 on the Panthers side of the field, first tackle. Where you get the hat from? Ho Chi Minh, Saigon, Vietnam. Where I am. Hella Kimmy says, bro, with you, I support the Bulldogs now through the full supporter of the What? Bro, with you, I support Bulldogs now through the full supporter of Panthers all the way from Tari, Hela Province, Papua New Guinea. Well, shout out to you in Papua New Guinea, but what did you just say? Did you just say you're a Bulldogs fan now, despite being a full supporter of the Panthers? I hope I read that wrong. I hope I've read that wrong, and you say, I don't know what's going. Yeah, I don't know what's happening there, but they go Jamin Salmon now, 4 tackle, Lachlan Galvin, Jacob Preston. Oh, if he got the offload away, it was an easy try. And they're 4 metres out. Galvin, he'll get it across. Then off to Matt Burton. Burton kicks it through. Drop out, coming up. Drop out, coming on up. Nate J says he's the Gold Coast Flash tonight. Mate, zing. That is an absolute zing. Yeah, the Dogs are looking super underwhelming at the moment. Super underwhelming at the moment. But yeah, Panthers, look, if you have had a way to win this game tonight, I still don't even know if I want to take you off a fraud alert, because this isn't the team you play finals with. This isn't the team. All right, so the Panthers do a short dropout, and it's going to go so short. Oh, it might actually go 10. Oh, no, it will not. Oh, maybe. No, that's too short. No, it's a penalty. Yeah, Dogs, are you going to do it? Are you going to take the 2? Are you going to be sad? Oh, Dogs, don't be sad. Don't be sad, Dogs. Don't take the 2. It's a penalty. Do not do this, Dogs. You better go for the try. Don't be sad. You have to go for the try here. I don't care. It's a 2 in front of the post. They will go for the try. Thank you, Dogs, for restoring my faith in humanity. So the Dogs here will be first tackle 3 metres out from the line. Robert says, still no score. I got a 7-leg multi on this game. Well, good luck. 6 again here for the Bulldogs. And now it's going to be Stephen Crichton taken down 3 metres away here from the line. First tackle. And Colin Tracy, he's going to get back to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin across to Jamin Salmon. Salmon into Samuel Hughes. And Hughes looking for an offload. Can't get it. Second tackle now, 8 metres out. Second tackle, Bailey Hayward, Jamin Salmon. Salmon across to Burton. Burton here, Bronson Seri. And good defence from the Panthers. He gets the offload away, though. And Matt Burton picks it up at the 15. Across to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin shaping for a kick. And then Galvin shaping to get tackled with an 8-metre loss. Well done, Lachlan. So third tackle for the Dogs, 21 metres away here from the Panthers line. And now Max King, he'll be 13 metres out, fourth tackle. You couldn't do this, Dogs. I wouldn't accept it. I don't think anyone would accept it. Galvin, Stephen Crichton here, and Burton. Oh, Bronson Seri, 4 metres out here from the line, fifth tackle, 14 minutes in. Back Marcelo Montoya, Matt Burton. Let's see where this kick goes. Up in the air. Good kick there from Burton into a good range. Oh, Bulldogs catch it. They throw it back to Galvin. And they get it off to Bailey Hayward. Don't ask how, but they did. Played out there by the Panthers. They will penalise the Dogs. Let's get it, Penrith. Look at them go. Penalise the Penrith here. I tell you what, the first 15 minutes hasn't looked kindly for Lockie. Dasmay says, we are letting an auto-generated player called David Farley do that. Please, for anyone who actually knows David or knows how to pronounce his name, is it Farley or is it Failed? I just know that he's Islander, and a lot of the Islander names usually have like a, if it's an E at the end, it can be like so Farley. And I'm feeling like it's a Samoan or Tonga name, so that's why I'm kind of assuming it's Farley, but it could be Failed. So please let me know if I'm getting it wrong. Infinite Kiwi says, showing some pearlers. Nate J says, you're not wrong. Steve says, Galvin is shit. Thank you, Steve, for your opinion. First tackle here for the Panthers at the 30. Galvin hasn't been great in this first 15, that's for sure. But the Dogs haven't been great in this first 15. Yeah, pass to Grassy McGrath. Very good play this year, Infinite Kiwi. Looking forward to Dally M night to see Grassy get his honours because it's just been generational from him. Just watch a single Knights game and you'll understand. Or go and watch the Cowboys the other week against the Knights and, you know, what a phenomenal player. Really impressive stuff in 2025. Really impressive. And that's going to be Jack Cole, who steps around. He'll be fifth tackle now at the 43. Can't even scratch my head because it's scratch my head when it gets itchy. And now they'll kick this ball over the corner, and it'll be around the 20. So the Bulldogs will get the ball over the 20 after Brad Schneider kicks this ball over the sideline. All right, so Charlotte is not a very big fan of the Bulldogs, has said F you to the Bulldogs. Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but Charlotte's not a happy chappy. Not a happy chappy at all. Tony Park says, do Dogs still think they're playing the Panthers A team? Well, 16 minutes in, maybe so. Dogs on second tackle, bring this ball out here to the 35. Nate J says, that made you smash through the comments, mate. It's the Ho Chi Minh City Flash, hey, mate. I'm the Flash. I'm not going to flash you. If the Titans beat the Dolphins, maybe, but not going to flash you today. Third tackle now for the Dogs at the 50. Lee Sherwood says, are you a Suns fan? Oh, that's 4 pass. Oh, they haven't called that 4 pass, and Josh Curran's going to be straight on through. Oh, no, we got Selfish and Galvin. Galvin surely does score in the corner. The Dogs, I believe, have scored off a forward pass there, but regardless, you are going to score a try. Curran got extremely selfish and nearly screwed it up completely. Yeah, Mitchell says touchdown. Yeah, so look, Dogs are going to score. I do think there was about a 34-yard touchdown pass involved, but at the end of the day, the Dogs are going to score. At the end of the day, the Dogs are going to score. So it's 4-0 with a kick to come. Art of Limb says forward. What? Yeah, look, it's a bit of a debatable pass. I would like the Fox Live team to maybe bring it back and let's have a look at it. Obviously, try confirm, by the way. It's going to be a try. You can't rule on 4 passes in the bunker. But... Anyway, Lee, my Suns fan, the older I've gotten, the more I've gotten behind the Gold Coast. Like, when the Gold Coast Suns came in, I was already a Geelong fan because my stepdad at the time, he got me into AFL, and I was on the Gold Coast, and I never really got behind the Brisbane Lions. So I love my Geelong, but ultimately I'd prefer to see... Here we go, this will show it. Oh, no, that's not the part. It was the previous tackle. It was the previous tackle. But anyway, don't really matter. The older I've gotten, I am probably more of a Suns fan nowadays than Geelong, but at the end of the day, I love them both for different reasons. Johnny Parks, I love my footy. NFL. Sean James, I didn't say I don't wear my hat. It looks good on you, but not on my wrong-looking head. Hot and uncomfortable. He's saying this hat actually looks good on me. I look like an idiot. To be fair, I look like an idiot anyway. But conversion coming up here for the Dogs. And Stephen Crichton, he will miss the kick. He will miss the kick, so it will be staying 4-0 here to the Dogs 18 minutes in. Even keep his flag on the play, bubbling forward. Well, the NFL's starting up. The NFL is... What is the first game again, actually? What is the first game? Here we go. So next Friday, Eagles versus Cowboys. Looking forward to seeing the Cowboys get off to a rocketing start again with another heavy old L. Galvin jumping up and down like he's won the premiership. Yeah, he's really been poor tonight, but at least he does score that try. There. Nate says 2 4 passes in a row. I saw one. I didn't see what was the second one you're talking about, but I saw one on the previous play that they didn't pick up, but it is what it is. Uddlelim says ref watching the grass. Dasman says Suns win the comp. Don't know about winning the comp. It's a really difficult matchup actually against Fremantle next week. It is actually a very difficult matchup, but we'll see. We'll see how they go. I would like to see the Sunnies do well, despite their Titans slander a couple of weeks ago on their Instagram page. Rapetti says Panthers B versus Panthers C team. That is a valid statement too, with the Bulldogs being the Panthers B team. Third tackle now for the Dogs, and they'll beat the 40. Not that the Tigers shouldn't receive that same kind of comment. Now Bulldogs, Matt Burton. Maybe that try, despite being dubious, will wake the Dogs up here to get a bit of a slap up. Go on. Dasman says has to be Browns Giants to open the season. Yeah, that'd be the way. And then have the second. Maybe make a Saturday game, Jacksonville versus gee whiz, Carolina Panthers or something like that. And Dane Laurie picks this ball up and brings it out to the 15 on first tackle. Johnson passes, imagine this game goes to Golden Point. Well, at least had to make it an enjoyable Thursday night game. Because before the game, I was not expecting anything of the sort. So 20 minutes in here, guys. 20 minutes in to the first half. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new around here. We are 20 minutes in. And the Panthers now will bring this ball on third tackle out to the 34. Lee Sherwood's the Suns versus Dockers. Yep, that is who Fremantle is. I did mention that. And now the Panthers at the 30 are going to kick this ball down the centre, where it will be an easy grab for Jacob Kiraz, who will bring it out to the 40 on first tackle. Mitchell says, facts, Dogs, we want to see Shadur Sanders. Yeah, Shadur Sanders is on form here. He's on form. Yeah, Daz has just said we've had enough of Charlotte. We've had enough of Charlotte for today. And now the Dogs will get this ball to the 43 on third tackle. Steve says, are the Panthers resting their whole team next game? There is a possibility of it. I doubt it, but there is a possibility of it. Which will be very beneficial to the Sharks, because it means they should win. Not the Sharks. They play 1 second. Jacob Kiraz at the 25, the 20. He sets back onto the inside. And it'll be fourth tackle here at the 20 for the Bulldogs. It'll be very beneficial for the... Oh, well, actually, they play the Dragons. They wouldn't care. Maybe. Honestly, maybe. Bulldogs 15 metres out. And now to Galvin. Galvin gets it across to Crichton. That wasn't the side to go, and Crichton's going to get tackled again on fifth tackle. It's not mean. Like, Galvin did score that try, but like he's been rough in regards to organising the attack here today. Super rough, which is what your halfback is meant to do. But the Panthers will bring this ball out of the 12 on first tackle. And if you guys aren't new to this channel, like for the people who do think I might be hounding in on Galvin a bit, I actually defend Galvin quite a lot and say that it's not Galvin's fault here at the Dogs. He's part of the problem, but he's not the problem. But, I do have to call it out and say that he's had a really rough couple of games, and the Bulldogs have been a little bit shonky since he came in, but there's a lot more problems than just Lachlan Galvin. Nate Jason, no, they'll all be back next week, game of the year next week. Take the 2, boys. Yeah, Dragons looking to take the 2. They are definitely looking to take the 2. It's a primetime St. George play. Beautiful play by St. George there. And that's going out on the full by the Panthers. Lovely. That's nice. Brad Schneider having a bit of a mare here today. So the Bulldogs get the ball at halfway point. Dasmate says, pass the ball, Kiraz. They don't call forwards this game anyway. Yeah, that's a good point. Just grab the ball, just go whoopah. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Zakor, so Mitchell's timed out for 5 minutes. So cool. We are aware of what's going on in the NRL right now. Firstly, I do know about my own club, the Gold Coast Titans, with Des Hasler and Josh Hannay. And secondly, the Adam O'Brien news is pretty big as well. So we do understand what's going on. If there's like breaking news, please let us know. But if there's news that you've just seen throughout the week, you don't need to tell us about it because we do know. We do know. Crichton will throw the ball to grass but we'll go backwards. And Jagged Carraz will pick the ball up here at the 35. Against the core, appreciate you for tuning in. But just know that everyone here who is a part of the channel and watching on the stream is probably very, very aware about what's going on in the NRL right now with such a big move of coaches leaving. So 4 tackle here for the Dogs, and there's going to be a penalty here for the Dogs. There's going to be a penalty here for the Dogs. Matt Burton getting up a little bit worse aware. There's going to be a hip drop tackle there. Yeah, they're going to call it as a hip drop. And God bless Matt Burton. Hope he's all right. I'm pretty certain he is. But that is a bad, dangerous tackle there from the Panthers. Brent Nesbitt says Justin Holbrook is a contender. Wouldn't necessarily mind that. I'd like to see Justin get a crack somewhere. I really would. I'd love to see Justin get a crack somewhere. Obviously, he was at the Titans, and that didn't work out. But also, this might be a binny. If there's going to be a binny for the Panthers, it's going to be a binny. Dangerous contact. Should you care not to lose his legs. And in a bin. And in the bin, Zach Lipowicz on the debut is going in the bin for 10. Get the tuk-tuks in the chat. On your tuk-tuk. Honk, honk. Get off the field. That is a bin mundos. That is a bin on debut. It's a bad tackle. Sean James says, anyone that listened to you talking about your club knows what you mean. It's constructive criticism that builds. Well, Tino's come out this week and said the exact same thing I've been saying all year, which is what I love to see. So the Dogs will kick this ball. No, they won't. They won't kick it. They'll just go for the try, and they'll be taken down at the 20 on first tackle with Samuel Hughes. Well, Dogs, you're going up against a Z team Panthers. A lot of them on debut, and you're now 13 on 12. So we'd have to fully expect that you're going to score 100 tries in this next 10 minutes. Second tackle for the Dogs, and they're going to be 8 metres out. If anyone thinks that it's just pure hate, you're an idiot. Like, just straight up an idiot. It definitely is criticism from the right place. Dogs here, right-hand side. Con Tracy, that's a drop ball from the Dogs. That's a knock on. Panthers get the ball at 10. Knock on. It's all from the right place, man. You know, some people, they do love to get on the purely 100% positive brigade, which I just don't believe is the right answer. I used to do that, and I don't believe I was doing the right kind of service to my team by just jumping on the positivity brigade every 2 seconds, because there just simply isn't positivity right now. But there is now, and that's what I need to really reiterate here, is that we've seen some changes. So now I can be a lot more positive, because I got a lot of messages from people saying, this is just the same old of wanting change, getting change, but like nothing changes in the mentality of Titans fans. And whilst that's true, because we have been here and seen it before, at the end of the day, the decision has been made. You just have to move with it now and back it in until proven otherwise. So it's like the criticism won't be as heavy during Titans games at the moment when we do stream them, because we've got something to look towards from next year onwards. But yeah, like, of course, the criticism has been valid. So third tackle now for the Panthers at 22. And that's why it was so good to see Tino, the captain of the club, come out and say that it's not just the coaches who need to take accountability, it's everybody at the club. And that includes players, that includes organisation. Panthers drop the ball at the back, and that's going to be a Dogs knock on. And so it will be Panthers ball here at the 25. It will be a Bulldogs knock on. The Panthers throw the ball at the back, and that's what they will call. Chelsea Pass says, was this the same Panthers lineup that lost to the younger Dragons team? I can't remember. Lee Sherwood says, do the Warriors beat the Eels? I would assume so. I would like to see it. I really would. It's great to see everyone clapping Toby Sexton. Yeah, get around Tobes. That's nice to see the Bulldogs fans clapping Toby Sexton. Not always the case when you see players get moved on and change. He'll be off to France next year with the Catalan Dragons. And I wish nothing but the best for him. Second tackle. And the Panthers will get this ball to the 35 on their own side of the field. And now they'll get this ball to the 42 on third tackle. To be fair, like, the Panthers have held their own this first half, and now that they've got this bin, they're still holding their own. They're the ones with the ball at the moment. The Panthers, Brad Schneider, not had a great game here. He'll be taking up the 42 on fourth tackle. Mitchell says, Matt Eisenhuth is... Oh, no. Where's it gone? Oh, your comment's been lost to the Wolves, Mitchell. Your comment's been lost to the Wolves. Nate J says, Daz's comments alone are worth the price of admission. Exactly right. Now, Brad Schneider at the 45, his kicking game tonight has been absolutely atrocious. I know this is clearly a decision by the Panthers to go on the slow side and just keep kicking the ball over the sideline, but his kicking game tonight has been atrocious. So Kurt Mann and Tupanua is about to come on. Aussie Mozzie says, Dogs aren't doing anything in the finals. Based on what we've seen so far, I would not disagree, especially inclusive of the last 2 weeks. It hasn't been impressive. Chauncey passes Gus, the real winner of this game. Okay. I disagree, but okay. First tackle now for the Dogs at the 38. Tasman says, yes, we are playing football in the finals. On my days is better bit of sexy. On my day is better bit. You need to English your comment up for sure, Daz. English your comment up for sure. Marcel says, how is it only 4-0? Well, that's because the Dogs have come in a bit underwhelming here. And also, don't forget, the Panthers do have a bin right now. 4th tackle here for Crichton, who's lost the ball. And now it's Panthers' ball. Here's Panthers' ball. And they're going to say knock on from the Panthers. Okay. They're going to rule against Penrith here. So it's going to be Bulldogs' ball. 35? 40? So Crichton here. Oh, they're going to say that was a strip there from Jack Cole. There's about 100 plays in the tackle, though. It should have been a penalty, Bulldogs, if anything. DJ Sachs says, honestly, given they're facing a glorified New South Wales Cup team and they now have a numerical advantage, the Bulldogs have been surprisingly sloppy in the red zone, especially. Agreed. The Bulldogs have not really done anything, and their only try of this game was quite dubious because the previous play, not the play of the actual try, previous play there was about a 10-metre forward pass, not 10 metres, but over-exaggerating. But the point is there was a big forward pass that wasn't picked up, and then they scored. But ultimately, the Dogs should just win this game. They've just made it really hard for themselves, and it's really impressive to see the Panthers turning up for each other, especially with this man in the bin. If they can stop this attacking try here from the Bulldogs, 24 metres out, 3rd tackle, it'll look really good in this Penrith team, down a man. And with their New South Wales Cup team in play. 4th tackle for the Bulldogs, 10 metres out. And now they'll go out to Kurt Mann. Kurt Mann, short ball, Tupanua with a great run! Oh my gosh, how has he not scored there? That was an incredible run there from Tupanua. Oh no, please don't go up to the bunker. He's clearly not scored. He's not scored. Just play it. This is going to ruin the Bulldogs' momentum with that run. Oh, there's a player injured, that's why. There is a player injured. That was a run, though, from Tupanua. Look at that. How they've stopped that try is incredible. Dane Laurie and also one of the Panthers boys with a huge tackle to stop him. And, the boot hit Summerton's face. He's going to have to come out for a HIA. So Sonny Luke will have to come on with that number 9. Utterlim says, at least give Cole a crack. He's been horrible. At least give Cole a crack. He's been horrible. What do you mean, at least give him a crack? He's been, I know what you're saying, he's been horrible, but then also at least give him a crack would represent that he's not. Are you saying Cole needs to have a crack? NJ says, Jay, don't mention him, he'll be there here in a jiffy now. The ball sacks. I think he's at this game. Robert said, what player scored? It was Lachlan Galvin who scored for the Bulldogs, mate. Lachlan Galvin. Sean James says, Jay, a Thursday night sack whacking for Lagan to start the round. God help us. God help us. If you say his name 3 times, you know he turns up, and that's very scary. So Sonny Luke will come on in for the Panthers. All right, so 5th tackle here for the Dogs. 2 minutes out from the line. 11:42 to go here of the first half, and the Panthers still a man in the bin. They go Bailey Hayward, Lachlan Galvin. Galvin now to Crichton. Crichton here gets it off. Connor Tracy. I don't know. He's been held up. Oh my gosh, that's incredible defense from the Panthers. How they have not scored the Bulldogs through Tupanua and Connor Tracy is incredible. That's actually incredible defense from Dane Laurie again. Dane Laurie holds the ball up. That's unbelievable. Dane Laurie to help stop that try in the middle, and from Tupanua's brilliant run to then stop the try on the left-hand side here on an individual level is absolutely incredible there. Connor Tracy and Tupanua both had really good runs. So that is pure good defense. That's pure good defense from the Panthers, because a lot of the time you can say, the Dogs aren't attacking too well, or the Dogs didn't really throw too much at them. The Dogs threw 2 incredible runs through Tupanua and Connor Tracy, and yet they were held out both times. So it is a no try here, and the Panthers will get the ball at 10. So that is pure good defense from Dane Laurie. D.A. Shack says, what a try saver. Summerton and Laurie. How did they stop Tupanua? That, and then Connor Tracy from Dane Laurie. Second tackle now with the Panthers at the 20. Get a bit of a feeling the Panthers might get a penalty sometime soon. Maybe on this set. And now third tackle at the 25. Could be wrong. Brent Nesbitt says, well done, C-grade Panthers. C-grades are generous. And right-hand side of the Panthers, and now they're going to be at the 38. And it's going to be Sonny Luke with a quick run here from Dummy. And they'll get this ball to the halfway point on fifth tackle. 10 minutes to go in the first half. The Panthers are still well and truly in this game. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Really impressive. And Schneider again kicks the ball over the sideline. Fuck me, eh? Like, dead set. Come on. I know they're slowing the game down, but come on. Like, Nathan Cleary's laughing because he knows this is obviously the game plan. Like, I'm not saying that this isn't the game plan at all, and he's just shit kicking it over the sideline for a laugh. But like, it's just awful footy to watch when you're just seeing them kick the get the ball over the sideline every single time. Condor's nice hat, bro. Thank you very much, mate. DJ Shack says, Laurie, he's a guardian angel that's saving his entire team at the moment. Absolutely. So third tackle now for the Dogs at the 50. But yes, 10 minutes to go. If you haven't subscribed yet, you are a muppet because we're going to be live for every game. Every game. Third tackle, Kurt Mann, Lachlan Galvin, Jacob Preston will be fourth tackle at the 45. Art of Lim says, bro, Schneider, stop kicking and let Cole kick. Well, it's the game plan. It's the game plan is to slow the footy down, and now there's a penalty here for the Dogs at the 33. Dogs, you have to score, man. You have to score. How are you not scoring? High contact, it will be a penalty to the Bulldogs here. You have to score. Come on. Desmond says, now that I think of it, why are we shocked we were only beating the 4-time defending champions by 4 points? Yeah, you're getting a minute timeout for that. Yeah, you're getting a minute timeout. Jamin Salmon, you'll be taken down here at the 5. It'll be second tackle. Very well deserved 1 minute timeout there for Daz, mate. Sir Daz, mate, you've been slapped. Crichton now will be third tackle here, 3 metres away here from the line. Dodgy passes top tier mental game from the Panthers. No, they're doing well. They really are. And now the Dogs, Kurt Mann. He rolls around, and now he'll be taken down 4 metres out. 1 minute is generous. I'm a generous man, Breezy. Very generous man, me. Very generous, very kind-hearted. So the Dogs now... Oh, that defense was bad. Oh, we've seen bum action! Bum action! Oh, we've seen the full moon from Tumanua. We've seen what he ate for breakfast. That was that bad. Oh, no. Lachlan Galvin gets an offload to Preston and then to Stephen Crichton. He'll kick that through. They'll be played out and the Panthers get the ball at 10. We've just seen everything of what Stili Tupanua has to offer. Oh my gosh, that was full on. We've just watched porn on Thursday night footy. We have just seen pornography on Thursday night footy. And the Panthers on third tackle, they'll get crunched out at the 15. This is not a great set here from the Panthers. Better than a Teddy flash. Teddy is consistent, but Tupanua just showed it all. So the Panthers still haven't conceded, and there's 41 seconds left of the bin for Lipowicz. So it's looking like it's about to be 13 on 13. They wouldn't have conceded. Breezy says, right when I put the game on my TV. I'm so sorry to hear. And finally, the Panthers will kick this ball long, and it will be Jacob Kiraz who gets it off to Connor Tracy, and he'll be taken down to the 30 on first tackle. This is good from the Panthers. That kick was brilliant. And now the Bulldogs have to actually come out of their own 30 for nearly the first time all game. DJ Shack says, Schneider can't be playing game manager for the whole game. They have to chance their arm. His team is just going to be trapped in their half the whole game. 100%, dude. 100%. That's why I keep complaining every time he kicks it over the sideline, despite being fully aware that it's a game plan from the Panthers. So Bronson Serry to Bailey Hayward, and now it's a 6 again here for the Bulldogs. They've received a few penalties. I think that might be they've received a couple of 6 agains. Kurt Mann will be taken down, hit the 44. Very close to being an obstruction penalty there from the Bulldogs, but they get away with it. First tackle at the 44. Bailey Hayward, Matt Burton. Then at the back into Bronson Seri. Seri gives it off into Marcelo Montoya. Montoya! He will get taken down to the 15. It'll be second tackle of the Dogs. It's 13 on 13 again here, though, for the Panthers. So they've got their full team out there, debatably. And now they go to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin hits grass, but Crichton picks it up and he goes down the right-hand sideline, back onto the inside here for bingo, try time. Jacob Preston. And they've made an absolute mare of this game, but they will score a try there to make it 8-0 with a kick to come. They get back to 13 and then they score. But that was nice there from the Bulldogs. That was nice. Jeez, they've had a shocking first 34 minutes here, but they'll take it. And the thing is that if you're, say, a casual fan of the NRL and you don't look at team lineups and you don't understand what you're looking at when you're looking at team lineups, you don't understand what teams play like, you're just tuning in for a Thursday night footy, you come home from work and you're just watching on, you know. You'd think right now the Dogs are going up against a genuinely good team. You'd think they're going up against, and if you look at the ladder, you're like, oh, this team's in the top 8. You know, this Panthers team's won 4 premierships in a row, been in 5 grand finals in a row. You know, Bulldogs in 3rd. Don't know the team lineups, but it looks like a big one. Well, you know, I need to tell you. It's not really what you're watching. Right now, the Panthers have come out of this first half looking the better overall, but the Dogs are still going to win this game. We all know the Dogs are going to win the game. Even a Kiwi says 50 Shades of Shade. DJ Shack says Sid Tilly Tupanua just challenged his inner James Tedesco. Mate, he showed James Tedesco times 10. He showed everything he's got to offer. So Jacob Preston will score, and it will be 8-0 with a kick to come. Mental says that man turned down $1 million. Nate says Willie Vanilli. Jeez. Willie Vanilli. That's crazy. Willie Vanilli, eh? Damon says we are the Penrith Panthers club, not the club that's won 4 titles in a row. Shut up, Daz. Don't want to hear it. 10-0 to the Dogs. 5 minutes to go the first half. I do not want to hear it. Unless you win this game by 40 points and more, I'm not taking your fraud alert. I won't do it. I refuse. Max Watson says, I can't wait to hear the average set distance stats. I can wait. Yeah, no, I can definitely wait, Max Watson. I can definitely wait. Access says Broncos going to get top 4. That's fantastic, Access. I'm just trying to look for where the Broncos are playing here today. Can't see any brown jerseys on the field. No, I don't think the Broncos are playing here today. No, really funny that we're talking about the Broncos, but looking for Reece Walsh. No, can't see Reece Walsh on the field right now, so maybe when the Broncos play, we'll obviously have a chat about him. But 5 minutes to go in the first half. Luke Summerton unfortunately fouled his HIA, so he will not be back here for the Panthers today. And the Dogs, they're going to get the ball to the 20 through first tackle. Desmond says off scam, don't you mean? You're not on scam, Des. You're not on scam. DJ Shack says, yeah, to put this in perspective, this Panthers team is the single most inexperienced team in the 28-year history of the NRL. Just 300. Oh, the Dogs are away here again. The Dogs are away here again. The Dogs are away. Lachlan Galvin at the 45. Third tackle at the 42. 4.5 minutes to go. And now Jamin Salmon crunched by Dane Laurie. Oh, he's lost the ball. Oh, it's gone backwards though. I thought he lost it into the tackler, and then it went backwards. But no, apparently not. 5 line breaks to 0 Dogs way. They go right hand side, and Galvin. It'll be fifth tackle at the 20. Sean James' top team going up against a swap team. 10 points. Young Panthers are trying to prove a point to the boss in this game. I expect the second half Dogs some real footy. Sure. Dogs knock it backwards. Dogs knock it backwards again. Dogs knock it backwards again. Stephen Crichton at the 15. Oh, jeez. Oh, Dogs knock it backwards again. Dogs knock it backwards again. Oh, my gosh. At the 20, Josh Curran kicks it through, and it's Panthers ball. That was absolute schmozzle footy, but either way, the Panthers will line up with it at the 20. I don't know. Brendan, I don't know what we just witnessed. Don't know about the kick, but don't know about everything. We just saw knocked back, then knocked back, then knocked back, then knocked back. Yeah, I don't know, Seb, wasn't what we saw, but we saw something. And now they lost Summerton. Yeah, exactly right. So now they're... Oh, Kurt Mann gets whooped by, I think, Lou Rompatea. And he's injured here. God bless him. This might have to be a HIA here. He's been absolutely slaughtered there. Wound up on his back. Paul Adamotti with a big run straight into Kurt Mann. What actually is the contact here? I think he's maybe just winded. I don't think his elbow actually hits him in the face at all. I think it's just really solid contact. Axis, I could easily take that. Could ya? Wow, that's really... Oh, high contact from Kurt Mann. So Kurt Mann's also going to get penalised for this. Kurt Mann's also going to get penalised for this. So he gets injured. It is high tackle. It's the previous play on Jesse McLean. So, yeah, that was high on Jesse McLean. They missed before. So Kurt Mann will go on report. It was into the neck, that shot they just showed. Did he run with a raised forearm, Alamotti? Because if so, it's illegal. He didn't hit him across the head. He had his forearm up here. Yeah, no, that's completely fine. Alamotti hasn't done anything there. Ultimately, he's run like this and then just shoved him off like that. I actually don't know. It's just a really solid contact, and then Kurt Mann's just come out the worst of it. DH Access, that's right. So I don't think they've called a penalty. They were just putting Kurt Mann on report for... No, they are penalising. They are penalising the Dogs. So it is Panthers penalty at the 20. And Schneider will kick this ball out here to the 44. No, to the 40. Infinite Quiz is head clutch. Was it? I thought it was just the... Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, he's coming for a HIA. So first tackle here for Penrith at the 45. This will be their chance. Penrith now inside the tag and half. Second tackle at the 47. No, it's a shoulder that collides with Mann. Yeah, well, either way, it was... what I'm saying is that he comes off and he shoves him off like that, but yeah, they collide like normal. That's why it wasn't an illegal play. And short ball into the line, and the Panthers will be 30 metres out for tackle, 2.5 minutes to go of the first half. They go right-hand side to Brad Schneider. Schneider nearly goes through. Haven't rated Schneider at all here today, though. Fifth tackle here, Panthers, Sonny Luke. Sonny Luke kicks it through here. Nice kick. Oh, but it will be Kiraz getting back for it, and he'll be taken out to 5. Casey says, in my opinion, Dogs are scammers already. They should be up by way more. They've had all the ball, all the possession, gotten all the calls. 10 points ain't much to show for it. Agree, but I'm not putting them on scam for winning. But agree that Dogs should have shown a lot more here today, but also got to point out the Panthers are still professional rugby league players, and they are still paid professional wages to play the game of rugby league. So it's like, things like this can happen. That's why teams can't come in thinking they've got an easy win. Fans can think it, but players can't. And now to the left-hand side, Bronson Seri. And Seri will be at the 45 on his own side of the field, fit tackle. Tell you parts of the Dogs locked in top 4 or nah? No. If they lost this game, and the Sharks game next week, the Warriors win their remaining games, and the Sharks/Broncos win their remaining games, they would actually drop into 7th. They could actually drop all the way down into 6th position below the Sharks, technically, which isn't out of the equation. But it's a penalty of the Panthers with a minute 17 to go the first half. Brad Schneider, for the love of God, mate, I understand, game plan is shit, but you're down 10-0. Can you get a little bit of pace into this game? You kick the ball 15 metres. I'm sorry, but you've got to really crunch into Brad Schneider here. He's not doing enough. He's slowing the game down. He's not doing anything on attack. He's not doing jack on defence. And they're just not doing anything. And it's not like you can really insult the Panthers for today, but you've got to criticise Brad Schneider for sticking to what they said, despite being down 10-0 and losing this game. There's no anything from Schneider on the kicking game. But now left-hand side here for the Panthers, and they'll get this ball to the 40 on third tackle. 35 seconds to go here of the first half. New Zealand guy says, Doggies biting hard. Doggies have not been good here today. But they are up 10-0 regardless. First tackle now for the Panthers at the 40. Dogs definitely not biting jack at the moment. So Schneider out the back here to Dane Laurie. Then the Panthers are going to be 30 metres out, 14 seconds to go here. You're just going to have to put a bomb up into the air, Panthers. You're just going to have to put a bomb up into the air. And now they're 25 metres out, 5 seconds. Can you play it? Can you play it? Here we go. Brad Schneider just put the ball up into the air. He doesn't. They pass it out to the left. And Brad Schneider, dude, I've got to be honest, mate. I've got to be honest. You shouldn't be in the game. If I'm the coach, I'm pulling you. I don't care who's on my roster. I'm pulling you. He's been awful, Brad Schneider. He's been awful. And to criticise in this situation, I can't put into emphasis how bad Brad Schneider has been tonight. He has been really, really bad. Really bad. Because you're down 10-0, stop playing an extremely slow game. You are down 10-0. You are against all odds. but at least chance the arm. If you make a mistake from chancing the arm, we're not going to criticize you. We're not going to do it because at the end of the day, you're trying. But from my perspective right now, it is genuinely looking like Brad Schneider does not give a shit about winning this game. And it's like, if you're playing to the exact way that Ivan Cleary showed you, well then Ivan Cleary is also incorrect in regards to this, but also Ivan Cleary knows what he's doing, but also I would suggest that Ivan Cleary is going to tell you at halftime, maybe switch it up, which you should kind of come to terms with yourself. You've had everything against you. You're not getting as much ball. The Bulldogs are getting the possession. They are getting into your area. The whole team has collectively defended well for the most part. So when you're getting your opportunity, take a chance with the opportunity because you're expected to lose this game by a lot. You're expected to lose this game by a big margin. So it's like, we're not going to criticize you if you are trying. But you can't tell me that Brad Schneider is benefiting this Panthers team in any capacity at the moment. Because every play is a kick ball over the sideline. He doesn't even boot the ball up high there on last tackle to give the Panthers a chance at a try. Every single play has just been really, really stupid. Like bland and basic and doing nothing. I'm sorry, but there's nothing that could tell me that Brad Schneider was having a good game here. And it's the only Panthers player that I will actually rip into there. Because everybody else has excuses. You know, chance the arm, dude. You know, show something, man. Show something. But let's get to the stats here, guys. At halftime, Dogs are up obviously 10-0. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. The try scorers are Lachlan Galvin and Jacob Preston. Matt Burton is 1 from 2 with the conversions. Now the possession, 59% to the Bulldogs, 41% here to the Panthers. The Dogs are getting all the ball, which is why you'd expect them to have more points on the ball. But the Panthers defensively, to their credit, have been very good today defensively. Now time of possession is a whopping 16 minutes and 8 seconds for the Bulldogs, and a really minuscule 10 minutes and 59 seconds for the Panthers. So that is a 5-minute swing in regards to time possession, which is significant. That is very significant. Now, completion rate. You want to be seeing at least 80%. Now, both teams are at 80% here. The Dogs at a fantastic 90%, 20 from 22. It's an expectation. They're doing really well with the ball. They're not dropping the ball too much. They're getting through their sets. 90% is fantastic. And 84% for the Panthers at 16 from 19 is also really good. It's above 80%. You know, it's getting up there towards the 85-90% mark, which is what you're really, really looking for. The Panthers are doing pretty well with that, so you can't really hate on that completion rate at all from the Panthers. Now, runs-wise, 106 runs here for the Bulldogs for 979 run meters. The Panthers at 68 runs for 497 run meters. Now, that's poor. That is really poor there from the Panthers. You look for the 10 metres on average per run. Now, if you're looking at the Dogs' run metres compared to runs right now, they would be under by about 80 to 90 odd on the run metres for the 10 metres on average per run. That's what they'd be behind it, because if they would need to be at about 1,060 metres to be on 10 metres per average per run. They're at 979. Panthers at 69 now for 512. They are about 100 and now it's 70 for 516. They are about 185 metres behind the 10 metres on average per run that you're looking for. So that's why if you give the 36 runs to try and equate it, if you try and equate the 36 runs there, for 10 metres on average per run, that's 360 metres, even though that's completely unfair to do on that metric, but 516, now it's 523 from 70, with 36 runs, 360, that's 623, 723, 823, that's 880. They're still 100 metres behind the Bulldogs in this capacity. Still, with that. And it's an unfair metric. The Panthers don't deserve to be given the 10 metres on average per run for the extra 36 runs. But if you did that, they'd still be down by 100 metres. So the Bulldogs are clearly dominating in regards to the run metres department. It's not surprising based off of what we've watched here. Now, post-contact metres is 290 for the Bulldogs. Access, what's going on, mate? My first stream. Well, you've tuned in for one with Vietnamese hat on. Vietnamese hat on. Get around here. But post-contact meters, 290 for the Bulldogs, 199 for the Panthers. Yeah, look, the Dogs are dominating this department. But now it's 74 runs to 106. That's 28 runs. No, sorry, that's 31 runs difference. 106 to 75 now. So 31 runs the difference. It's a difficult metric to read. I'd still probably put the Bulldogs in front, but it would be close. It'd be really close if you equate it there on the post-contact. Now, line breaks is 6-1 to the Bulldogs, so that's huge. Tackle breaks is a whopping 29 for the Bulldogs and 14 here for the Panthers. That is significant. That is 15 more missed tackles there for the Panthers. But overall, as a collective, As a collective, the Panthers line has been pretty good defensively. It's been very good defensively. But individual defensive effective tackle percentage is going to take a massive whopping hit here. It's going to take a huge hit because individually, defensively, they are missing tackles. 29 is huge. That is absolutely gigantic. That's close to 60 tackles across a game. Now, in regards to average set distance, the categories, 25 and under, you turn the stream off, it's pathetic. 25 to 30, it's disgusting. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is hitting the marker, average. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic. And 50 plus is incredible. Basically perfect first half. Now, the Dogs are at 44.54. So that's extremely upper end of the great category. Super close to a fantastic category. They're doing what they need to do in regards to the average set distance. They're making the meters. They've got all the ball. They're making the meters here, which is huge. So they're not complaining about basically a 45 meter average set distance. 44.54 is really good. Whilst the Panthers are at 29.16. Now, that is in the disgusting category. It's the upper end of disgusting category, but it's disgusting nonetheless. At the end of the day, these are professional players, but I will also point out here that the halves are not doing the job. Jack Cole and Brad Schneider are not doing their job to help out this team. Now, the forwards may not be doing necessarily what they need to do as well, but at the end of the day, you've also got to not heavily criticise this Panthers team because they are going up against a third-place Bulldogs team, whilst they are a completely fresh New South Wales Cup team. That is the New South Wales Cup team. All 17 or 16 players from last week's Panthers team were rested this week. So you can't criticise it too heavily, but 29.16 is not good enough, and at the end of the day, this is still a professional players in this team. Now, average play the ball speed, and we have to judge it based off its merit here as well, but also really remind people that the Panthers they don't have the expectations to be doing anything incredible here today. Individually, you can criticise, though. Average play the ball speed, 3.77 seconds here for the Bulldogs, 3.6 seconds for the Panthers. So 3.39 and below is really fast. 3.4 to 3.59 is average, and then 3.6 and above is slow. Anything above 3.8 is really slow, extremely slow. The Dogs are just inside the slow category. They're very close to an extremely slow play the ball speed, which can tell you the Panthers are holding down long the tackle, or it can be the Bulldogs are just taking their time and they're not really rushing the play, which ultimately I would have expected them to try to rush the play here today, especially with the Panthers deliberately trying to slow the play down in regards to kicking the ball over the sideline or potentially holding down longer in tackles. I would have expected the Bulldogs to have a bit of a faster play the ball speed, but they don't. They're at 3.77 and the Panthers are at 3.6. So yeah, I was expecting the complete opposite. I was expecting the complete opposite and then even shorter for the Dogs, but obviously not. Offloads, 8 for the Bulldogs, 3 for the Panthers. Probably would have expected the Panthers to try a few more offloads here today, but they're obviously playing extremely conservative on attack, as you can look by the criticism of Brad Schneider. And then you go to the forced dropouts of 1-1. Tip defusal is 100% for the Dogs, 40% for the Panthers. Good sign there. And then we get to the effective tackle percentage. And like I said, the Panthers on an individual level are going to take a hit here. Collectively, I think they've had a pretty good defense today. But individually, it has been a little bit tatters with the amount of missed tackles they've had. Now, the categories, 85% and below is disgusting. 85% to 88% is underwhelming. 88% to 90% is hitting the marker. And then 90% and above is a brilliant first half defensively on an effective tackle percentage. Individual metric. The Bulldogs are at 87.78%. So they haven't had to make a whole bunch of tackles here. So 87.78% is bringing them under the 88% marker. They're not hitting where they need to go. They're not. They're at 87.78%. But it's not awful. They're very close to the marker. 158 tackles made for 14 missed tackles and 8 ineffective. So their missed tackles are one underneath the lowest form of the average, which is 15 to 17. 15 to 17 is the amount of missed tackles you usually see in a half of footy on an average, and they're at 14. So they're not complaining about that overall. 14 is good. Well, it's not great, but it's still good. Right? It's just underneath the 15 average. And then the ineffective is at 8, which is, I would personally say, 7 is the average. They're at 8, so they are into the bad category there. They're past the average, but it's still not awful. And that's why they're at 88%. They're just short of the average on the missed tackles, and then just above the average on the ineffective, which is why they're flatlining around the 88% mark. And then for the Panthers, they're at 84.58%. So they're into the disgusting category, and this is what I'm talking about on an individual defensive effective tackle percentage level. Those missed tackles are whack at them, but collectively, I do think they've been pretty good here today. 84.58% is not good enough. 214 tackles made is roughly 60 more tackles made than what the Dogs have had to do. A whopping 29 missed tackles, though, and that is a whopping, because 15 to 17 is the average. They're at 29, so they are 12 above the highest of the averages there. 12 above the highest of the averages. 29 missed tackles is absolutely gigantic, and then ineffective tackles is 10, which is meaning 6 to 7 on average. They're 3 above the highest of the average there at 10. So 39 bad tackles in the first half for the Panthers, 22 bad tackles there for the Bulldogs in the first half. And that's a big reason as to why you're seeing the scoreline like this. But also overall, Panthers have excuses here, right? Because realistically, these guys aren't playing at the big time level every single week, and they're going up against a very good team here. But the stats do also speak for themselves here on an individual defensive effective tackle percentage level. Now, negative play is actually quite even here. 5-4 in errors to the Panthers, and also 5-4 in penalties conceded to the Panthers. So both teams are making errors, and both teams are giving away penalties. 4 and below is a good stat for the amount of errors. You don't want to be giving up 4, but 4 and below is good. 5-6 is average. 7 and above is really bad. So the Panthers are at the average of 5, whilst the Bulldogs are just under the average of 4 in the good category for errors. You're not complaining. Penalties conceded is getting quite high up there. You'd want to see the Bulldogs limiting that. They are going up against a team they shouldn't be this ill-disciplined against. They realistically should be looking at 1, maybe 2 at max, but 4, I'm not a big fan of that against with this Panthers team here today for the Bulldogs. So I would criticise that. Ruck infringements is 2-2. On reports is 2-1 Bulldogs. And the Panthers, they have had one man in the bin, which they didn't concede during that 10-minute span. But as soon as he came back on, they actually conceded right after. So overall, both teams have been ill-disciplined and made a few errors, but nothing crazy. Effective tackle percentage has shown a real negative to the Panthers, but collectively, I believe from my eye test that they've been very, very good, especially with it only being 10-0, despite their team list on paper compared to the opposition of the Bulldogs. Bulldogs not really doing a great deal there, but they're kind of flatlining around the 88% mark. At least they've both got the same amount of forced dropouts. The Dogs are offloading it more. Both their play-the-ball speeds are quite slow. The average set distance is a whopping 16 metres separating between the Bulldogs, 45.68, and the Panthers, 29.16. So the Bulldogs are making 16 extra metres on average per set, which is huge, because usually you see it like a 3 to 5 metre gap. This is 16. So that's a huge advantage there for the Bulldogs, and the run meters just isn't good enough for the Panthers, and the Bulldogs, they're doing their job at 1,005 from 109 runs. And then both at least completion rates are good. So overall, the Bulldogs should win this game. We all knew this. The Bulldogs should win this game and should win this game well. They should win by more than what they're doing right now. The first half was not impressive by any means, but at least they are leading 10-0 at a minimum. At a minimum, at least they are winning this game at the moment. But there is still 40 minutes to go. It is only 10-0. If the Panthers come out and show a little bit more, spice to their game, maybe we might see something. But the Dogs should run through the middle and should just run over the top of them. They really should. But again, I need to see the Panthers change their game plan. There's no point even playing this next 40 minutes if you're not going to chance the arm. You are not going to get criticised for chancing the arm. No one expects you to win today. I would rather see you kick the ball for an attempted 40-20 or kick the ball as far deep as you possibly can and then potentially make a mistake, or even if you accidentally kick the ball out of the floor. I don't like it, but at the end of the day, at least you tried it. At least you tried something, because kicking the ball out for 15 metres over the sideline deliberately from Brad Schneider is going to do jack shit. It's just going to put the Bulldogs back on the attack. There was one moment, I think around the 30-minute mark, 30-minute mark, maybe even 35-minute mark, where the Panthers actually did one of their only long kicks of the game, and it was a really good long kick. It got put the Bulldogs back into their own 30. They might have done something off of it, but at the end of the day, I actually appreciated that because they were actually, the halves were trying to get the Panthers into a good position, right? But outside of that, they just get the ball over the sideline. The Panthers are not going to do anything if they keep up the same game plan from the first half. They just won't. They just simply won't. But all right, let's get back into the chat here. Sean James says, what's happening here? I don't even know what's happening here. Yeah, I'm not too sure. DH Shack says, Dane Laurie is having a blinder. They survived 10-minute period with 12 players unscathed, and their goal line defense has been outstanding despite the scoreline. Agree. Bulldogs are coming out here for the second half. They are coming back out. Kate says 32-6 is my prediction. I don't know. If the Panthers can actually figure out a way to not just kick the ball over the sideline and have a crack here in regards to their attack, maybe. But if they don't, if they keep just trying to slow this play the ball down, they just keep trying to slow the play down in general, then I don't think they score. I just don't, because their halves have done nothing. They've done nothing. They're not even trying to get them good. They're not even trying to get anything into a good area. Truly. Axe says, what's going on? Oh, that's right. Read that comment. John Tipper says, really appreciate the breakdown of stats you provide. Cheers. Always the way, John. We do it every half time. Tomorrow we've got two big games with Warriors Eels tomorrow. I think it's Warriors Eels because they usually get that 6 p.m. time slot. They do because that's 8 p.m. over in New Zealand, and then Storm Roosters. So that's a big games, big couple of games tomorrow, especially that Storm Roosters game. But Warriors, they need to win. The Eels have been on a bit of form recently. Access, did you hear of the International Brawling Championship that's in the Gold Coast right now? A couple of my mates fighting on there. It's completely free to watch. No idea about it. It's the first I've heard about it, man. But good luck to your mates. The Panthers will receive the ball here for the second half, and they'll bring it out to the 15. Big hit there from the Dogs on first tackle. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Get around it. DJ Shack says that meter disparity is primarily down to the Panthers losing that territory battle. Exactly, which is why I keep criticising Brad Schneider. Much easier to gain meters when you're constantly moving forward. Agree. That's why I criticise Brad Schneider. Third tackle with the Panthers, and they're at their own 30. And Sonny Luke gives it across, and they'll be at the 35 on fourth tackle. Breed says, I'm so cooked. I took Panthers over 16.5 total. Great run from Sonny Luke, though, to the 45 at the Bulldogs side of the field. Yeah, over 16.5 point total's not looking likely. It's not looking likely. At least the Panthers are going to kick that ball down deep, and then we've got a bit of a chase here. They will knock the ball on. But, hey, at least they tried something. Paul Alamotti, that was a great, impressive first set from the Panthers. They made a good 55 metres on the set, and then Brad Schneider kicked the ball down deep and put it up high. And it gave Alamotti an opportunity to try and make a play. Now, he didn't make the play, and I'm not going to criticise. Oh! I would have argued maybe Marcelo Montoya touched that ball first there. But anyway, they've played through, and it's Bulldogs ball at the 13 first tackle. DJ Shack said it's almost like the forward pack is playing a different game with their halves. They're throwing plenty of offloads. Panthers have only thrown 3 offloads, even their own half, but for some bizarre reason, their halves are just playing. I agree, but the Panthers aren't really throwing a great deal of offloads. They've only thrown 3 in the first half. Access, wait, why is the Titans at the top spot? I just peeped that. Well, this is the official channel for the NRL, mate, in regards to the ladder. The NRL.com, they don't know what they're talking about. This is the official ladder, mate. So I don't know what you're talking about. It's a very serious channel here, mate. As you can see, we're very serious here on this channel, mate. New Zealand guys, so they can come back. Well, we'll see. Clippy Wooden says, how's Penrith looking with a lot of players on rest? Defensively, very good on a collective level. Individually, defensive-wise, on a tackle level, not so good. But the Dogs, if they don't win this game by a lot, will face heavy criticism. And right now, I would say that the criticism will definitely lean towards the Dogs based off of lineups. I don't know how many Dogs fans will be able to really positively get behind that first half. So fourth tackle now for the Panthers, and they're winning the territory battle in this first 3 minutes, which they'll appreciate. Brad Schneider, good ball underneath. Oh, jeez, they'll get taken down to 38, but good set again even the Panthers. Trying to loop to Brad Schneider, and Schneider kicks the ball over the top here. Alamotti coming through. Alamotti catches it, and it will be knocked on. But again, I'm appreciative that the Panthers are actually going for a crack now and not just kicking the ball over the sideline. Ivan Cleary has obviously said to Schneider, listen, shape your shit up. We might have had a game plan. Well, guess what? Throw that game plan out the window because we're down 10-0. We're down 10 damn well nil. You know, so now Schneider's actually kicking the ball and giving him an opportunity. Axe says, I'm still in tears. I wonder who's his favourite team. My favourite team is the Antarctic Penguins, mate. Always has been, always will be. Really proud Antarctic Penguins fan. Clippy Wooden says, I'm on the train, won't be home till it's over. Yeah, well, it would have been a huge game for you to miss originally, but obviously not so much now. Sunday says, okay, I can't read that comment out. But get around your Sunday. So Dogs now, they'll go to Galvin. Galvin to Jacob Preston, and Jack Cole with a huge hit there at the 35. Fourth tackle for the Dogs. Colin Tracy brings it out into the 42 on fifth tackle. David says, to be honest, Blaze, the Dogs should be a hell of a lot more ahead on the Panthers than this, considering who the Panthers have out. Agreed, especially with the Bulldogs trying to really bounce back from 2 straight losses to the Roosters and also the Storm. Josh Curry, huge hit. And Alamotti will be taken down at the 20, back to the 15. Really good stuff there from the Dogs. First tackle. Clippy Wooden says, spewing, I'll be watching the replay if not highlight service on my train line. It's bad streaming. Train lines always have bad streaming, man. Second tackle now for the Panthers, the 15. And now Schneider, he'll go left-hand side. And oh, no, that's a bad mistake there for the Panthers. And this is going to be Dogs ball here at the 18. Dogs ball at the 18 through a knock-on for the Panthers. Very serious channel, Axe. Mate, we've never seen more serious in our lives. Come on, mate. Axe, what do you think this is? What do you think this is a joke? We've never made a joke on this channel in the history of rugby league. Come on. Do I look like I'm laughing? Not laughing. Ask the people in the chat, are we a serious channel? We're not a serious channel. Very serious channel. First tackle at the 5. Very serious. Come on. So right-hand side, Bailey Hayward up to Lachlan Galvin. Jacob Preston. And Jacob Preston's going to be 4 metres away, 3 metres away, second tackle. Exactly right, Dad's mate. Facts, very serious. You know, Dad's mate, gee whiz, he's the most serious man that I know. Bailey Hayward! No, he'll be held up over the line. Oh, don't even check it, mate. We know it's held up over the line. Why are you wasting our time, referee? You know it's held up. We've all seen it held up. Come on. Come on. Bailey Hayward's already back at the 10 because he knows he hasn't put the ball down. We can all see the ball up. We can all see the ball up. We can all see the ball up. And I will see the ball up in 13 years' time. I don't know why we've gone to the bunker here. Don't know why, but thank you, bunker. That was a really integral involvement there. Thank you, referee, for getting the bunker involved. So no try, held up. I'm shocked. I'm real shocked. Sean James, this channel doesn't talk shit, so it's very serious for some people that can't listen to shit. Exactly right. Exactly right, mate. 4 tackled here at the 7. And Tipanua. Bailey Hayward goes right-hand side. Lachlan Galvin there to Kurt Mann. Kurt Mann steps, and he'll be taking that 8 metres out fit tackle. Again, collectively, Panthers, holding out. They are holding out. They go to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin at the back of Crichton. Crichton kicks it through. Good kick, good kick. It will be a dropout. Good kick. Good kick. Good kick. Justin Sutton says, advertising monies. Advertising monies. What? But that was a nice little kick there. But overall, the Panthers collectively have been very solid defensively. So it's like, yeah, we can criticise the Dogs for not scoring a whole bunch, but the Panthers have been defending really well. It's just their attack has been horrific, and that's going to be a short drop out in a great area. That's going to be knocked back here for the Panthers. There might be a penalty here for the Panthers for attack without the ball. No, it's going to be... Oh, they're going to say knock on here with the Panthers. So no, it's just going to be Dogs ball at the 10. Jimmy Masters' teams seem to play worse and let their guard down if they know they're up against a lower side team. Yeah, but again, I do have to take, figuratively speaking, I do have to take my hat off to the Penrith defense in this game. Metal says, this channel is very serious. We are all serious when we say Eisenhuth is a first ballot Hall of Famer and future immortal. Exactly right. You'd be silly not to think that. You'd be very silly. Again, we're not laughing here. If you don't think that Matt Eisenhuth is a first ballot Hall of Famer and future immortal, then what are you doing? Are you watching the same game as this, or are you watching ballet? Second tackle now for the Dogs, and they're 5 metres out from the line. Axe said, possibly the worst take in the history of takes. Axe, come on, mate. You got to get serious. You got to get real serious. Come on. So there's going to be a stoppage in play here. I'm not too sure what's happened. They're looking at Sonny Luke. Are they saying maybe a HIA? I think they must be saying like a HIA here for Sonny Luke. Oh, yeah, his head's gone straight into the back of the Bulldogs player. So he's going to be out for the game here. And they've lost Summerton already, and they might be about to lose Sonny Luke as well, which is both their hookers. Clippy Wooden says, if you get a chance to visit Phong Nha, I'd highly recommend it. My favourite place in Vietnam. Nice and quiet countryside, mountains and caves. Phong Nha, where's that? Where is that? I have to leave on Monday. I might stay until Wednesday, but I have to leave on Monday to renew my visa. So I'm probably going to head to Cambodia for a week or so. And then when I come back, I want to head up to Nha Trang. I also want to head up to a place called Buon Ma Thuot, which is like a real centralized place for coffee, in the hinterland, basically, in the mountains. And yeah, I'm going to head out to some beachside places as well. But Sonny Luke is going to come off here. I'm pretty certain that Jackson Edgar gets to come on. He gets to come on as 3 HIAs here for the Panthers would bring Jackson Edgar on from the 18th man. I'm pretty certain. 2 Category 1s would bring him in. Axis says, after this match, Panthers will probably not get in the top 4. Panthers won't get into the top 4 even with a win here because the Broncos, Sharks and Sharks both should win their games this week, and so should the Warriors, realistically. The Panthers aren't making a top 4 anyway. Their last 2 games have made sure of that. That's why they're resting all their players. That's why this is old news. This is old news. This is why they're playing a completely fresh team here today. 4 tackle, Bailey Hayward out to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin short ball, Jacob Preston. That's not good defense. And the Bulldogs will run straight through them. It'll be a 14-0 game here with the kit to come to the Dogs. That one's too easy. That's a very soft try there. Panthers defensively weren't good enough. They just simply weren't good enough there. It was a really easy walkthrough from the Bulldogs. Really easy walkthrough. Sean James says, DJ, there is no thing as a specialist hooker. What did DJ say? DJ, well, that's awkward. They're about to lose both their specialist hookers down to a 15-player rotation now. No, they get their 18th man in. They're doing it tough to Panthers. And Jay has timed out Axis for saying it too early. But 14-0 to the Dogger Wolf Wolf with 32 minutes to go here of the game. I would fully expect the Dogs to run away with this, run away with it from here. Chelsea Pass, if only the Titans weren't cheated out of their win, Panthers could have slid out of the top 8. Valid, and also the Titans would not be in the wooden spoon right now. If we had won that game, which we should have, if we had won that game, we would be out of the spoon. The Panthers wouldn't have rested all their players here today, though. I mean, the Panthers still had a chance to miss the 8th, and they would have played a full-strength team. And to be honest with you, I think if the Panthers play a full-strength team here, they probably would have beaten the Bulldogs, based off of what we've seen so far. But that is just pure hypothetical. With that being said, though, the Panthers have gone toe-to-toe with the Storm and the Raiders the last 2 weeks. The Bulldogs have gotten convincingly beaten by the Roosters, and then had a close enough matchup with the Storm down there in Melbourne. It's 16-0 to the Bulldogs, 31 minutes to go. I probably would have tipped the Panthers, man. If they had played a full-strength team, I probably would have tipped the Panthers over the Dogs. Everyone says this might get ugly. It should. The Panthers have excuses, man. That's why I kept saying, chance the arm, we're not going to criticise you for losing this game 40-0. Because at the end of the day, you should. But if you can try and find a way to just do something, make a little bit of excitement here of the game, if you make a mistake, whatever. Nate J says, a pimp is only as good as his hookers. Thank you, Nate J. Thank you for that one. Jimmy Mars says, Dogs were legit paying $8, so lucky to people who bet on them at $2.60. Yeah, if you had a bet on the Bulldogs before people found out about the dropping of the resting of the players, sorry, I should say. The resting of the players, you would have been loving life, dude. You could have actually cashed out nearly. You could have if you had to put $500 on them at $2.60, you know, you're there to win, what, 500, 1,000, just over, well, let's make it easier. $1,000, that's $2,600, right? But going in from $2.60 to $1.08, you could have probably just cashed it out immediately. And you probably would have gotten close to the 2,600, maybe even 2,400, 2,500, not even had to risk it, right? So it's like it would have been huge if they had done that beforehand. Chelsea Pass' Dogs give me Sharks vibes. I've been saying that for weeks. Chelsea Pass. I've been saying that for weeks. Papa says, was thinking it would be close-ish for 50 to 60 minutes, but the last bit would be carnage due to fatigue. Yeah, well, it has been... Oh, okay. Yeah, no, the Panthers, they don't look great here. It's a knock-on there from Jack Cole, and the Bulldogs going to get the ball here at the 25. Well, at least I like your head cover. Well, thank you very much, mate. I'm Vietnamese. They're going to challenge this here, the Panthers. Penrith don't believe they knock on first. I'm glad I missed the first half of this game. First half of this game was actually pretty good, Justin Sunder. First half was actually pretty good. And, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, this is a knock on, Dogs. No. Well, no. Well, oh, no. Yeah, correct. Sorry, he said that weirdly. That is correct. So it is going to be a knock on here from the Dogs. I thought he was saying that the Panthers knocked it on in the past, but it wasn't. So it will be challenge successful for the Panthers, and they will get the ball back here. 30 minutes to go of the game here, lads. 30 minutes to go. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Don't forget Warriors Eels tomorrow, and then also Storm Roosters. 2 big games. 2 big games. All right, so Panthers ball to 30, and now they'll get this ball to 33 on first tackles. DJ Shack says they need to get these risky offloads in their own half out of their game. Too many unforced errors. Are you talking about Dogs? Someone says, can't believe I'm working during the Roosters game tomorrow. What do you think this is, mate? What do you think this is? You think work is more important than watching... Oh, to be fair, the Roosters are probably going to lose that game, so... It'd be huge if they win, though. You know, what are you doing, Sunday? Usually you're in some place of the world, and now you're just going to choose to not watch the Roosters game? Unbelievable. Are these refs not getting my check? No, they got your check, mate. That's why you're up 16-0. So the Panthers will kick this ball across here to the 20. Alamotti coming up. Marcelo Montoya with a great grab, though. And he'll be taken down to the 20 on first tackle. They got very, very lucky with that challenge. No, I disagree. It was pretty obvious it was a knock-on. That's why the Panthers challenged it, because you could clearly see that the Dogs very clearly touched it. All right, so second tackle. Now Jacob Kiraz will bring it out to the 40 on third tackle. Idolimpsis, do you think the Warriors have a chance to make the grand final? Personally, no, mate. Personally, no. I think Warriors fans are going to believe it, but I need to see a lot more from them. You know, at the end of the day, they've lost both times to the Raiders this year. They've lost to the Bulldogs, and they've also lost to the Storm. They've lost to all three teams above them in the top four. Yeah, they beat... Oh, that's 4 past. The Panthers will get the ball here at the 50. The Panthers will get the ball at the 50 on first tackle. Then they've also lost to the Broncos. Yeah, they're away here, the Panthers. They're at the 30, the 25, second tackle. I can't remember what they did against the Roosters. Panthers at the 25. They've still got the ball away here. It's going to be 6 again here for the Penrith. This will be their first attacking opportunity since like 10 minutes into the game. So no, I don't think the Warriors are going to be good enough, but they've had an over-exceeding expectation season regardless. First tackle here for the Panthers will be a penalty. High tackle. And Bretton says take the 2. Hey! You know, getting AJ in for the Dragons to take the 2 with. It's a Dragon specialty. I think they need to do a Dragon special here and take the 2 for sure. Jim says, I'm actually shocked no team has won the grand final outside the top 4. That can't be right. No, it is correct. The only team that's won the grand final out of the top 4 in both codes of AFL and NRL was actually the Western Bulldogs in 2016 for the AFL. They won the competition from 7th. So the Panthers now, second tackle, will be 8 metres away here from the line. It's going to be Brad Schneider. He goes right, off to Dane Laurie. Dane Laurie underneath, and Panthers will be 10 metres out of the line, third tackle. Let's see something here, Panthers. It'd be a big shock if the Bulldogs concede, though, as one of the best defensive team in the comp this year. Left-hand side, they stop, and McLean, oh my gosh. No, Panthers. No, that wasn't the way. So Dogs ball here at the 10. Jace is 2:30 watching. Hit that like button. Smash it in. Okay, I should have clarified what I meant by like. I meant in the context of their circumstance. If there wasn't a Bulldogs knock-on, they would have had to defend deep inside their own half. Yeah, sure. But if my auntie had balls, she'd be at my uncle. So, you know, that is that option as well. The Dogs now will get this ball out at the 15. It'll be Marcelo Montoya. Reed Marnie about to come on here. Sean James has gone from 61 likes to 68. He fucking joking, people. Man, let's try for the hunch. Oh, it's been with a great run of the 35, the 40, the 45, back on the inside. Connor Tracy taking out the 35 on the Panthers side of the field. Great run from Connor Tracy, however. We'll try for the hunch. Let's see if we can get up to 100 likes on this stream by the end of it. We'll try for the hunch, the horny hunch. So Matty Burton will get this ball to the 30. No need to clarify it. Thank you, Jake. So out to the right, and it's going to be Galvin. Galvin Preston, fourth tackle at the 25. 16-0 Dogs. The game is still on if the Panthers scored next, but, like, again, Bulldogs have no excuses. Panthers have a lot. Fifth tackle now, 15 metres away. Rimani out to Matty Burton. Burton goes at himself, and that is game over. Game over. Sayonara. Bulldogs up 20-0. Bad defensive mistake there from the Panthers. Individual defensive efficiency on the tackle percentage. That shows you that. That should have been defended, but ultimately it wasn't, and Burton just scores an easy one. Axel says Bulldogs cooking. Well, let's relax on Bulldogs cooking, mate. You know, let's relax on Bulldogs cooking. But they're doing what they need to do now. They're doing what they need to do. We're not going to sit here and say that they've been spectacular today, but they're doing what they need to do. Brad Schneider's been god-awful. Here, Brad Schneider has been pitiful here today. He's the one who misses this tackle here on Matt Burton. Yeah, I'm sorry, but like him trying to just grab his pants in that situation, for me, look at that. And exactly right, Brenton, another Schneider mess up. Like, Schneider's been just awful today. On attack and on defense. You know, and I really do hate to hone in on him, but if you've watched this game, you know what I mean. Daz, this is my grand final. The Dogs win because we need to. You do, because now you're guaranteed top 4. Yeah, but I do need to reply to Axis saying Bulldogs cooking because that's not the way this game is played out. But the Bulldogs, they're doing what they need to do. They've not been spectacular, but they absolutely deserve to win, and they always should have been winning this game. I think the handicap was minus 21.5 too, so this will take them past the handicap. And I can't see the Panthers scoring today because, again, Schneider's been awful. Awful. Yeah, you've seen that too. I've seen that, Brenton. I've seen that. And like I usually say, Schneider was good when he was with the Raiders. Like, he was okay. Like, he wasn't bad and he wasn't fantastic, but he was okay. And I haven't said that Schneider's been bad for the Panthers when he's usually been when he gets an opportunity, but just today has been a real eye-opening look into Brad Schneider. Axis says first half they were definitely not playing finals. Axis, are we watching the? What were you talking about? Axis, do you know the Panthers have rested all 17 of their players today? What are you referring to, Axis? I'm trying to figure out. Are we watching the same game? GS Axis, good luck with the Storm Raiders in round 1 of the finals, Bulldogs. Yeah, well, they'll play more than likely the Storm, but there's still potential they play the Raiders in Canberra. I do think that right this very second I would be tipping either the Raiders or also the Storm. With that being said, the Dogs did beat the Raiders this year, but they haven't beaten the Storm this year. Yes, I don't know if we are, Axis, because the comments are kind of intriguing. What is first half? They were definitely not playing finals. Who is that referring to, and what is that referring to? So the Bulldogs now will be at the 28. They get off to Matt Burton. Now they'll play a bit more open-ended footy, and they'll throw the ball over the sideline. So it's going to be Grassy McGrath with a big play here, and the Panthers will get the ball at 28. Oh, Storm Roosters tomorrow, though. Ooh, that's a belter. Storm playing for a minor premiership. Roosters, you need to win that game. You need to win that game because you don't want to rely on the Titans to beat the Dolphins, and you also don't want to have to rely upon the Dragons to beat Manly. Roosters, tomorrow night, you need to win that game. If you don't win that game, oh boy. So first tackle now at the 20, they give it off here to Eisenhuth. Eisenhuth to Jack Cole underneath, and now the Panthers will be 18 metres out from the line, second tackle. And Brad Schneider will go to... one of the Panthers boys is number 15. He'll be 10 metres out, third tackle. They give it out to Eisenhuth. Eisenhuth to Alamotti. No, sorry, Fanua. And now Panthers will be 18 metres out, fourth tackle. People are saying they're playing grand final material. Not a single person in this chat I've seen has said that the Bulldogs are playing grand final material. There's no way that anyone's watching this game with a neutralised and saying the Bulldogs are playing grand final material. Oh, that's... Oh my gosh, Dane Laurie. That is one of the sexiest passes I've nearly ever seen. I think that might be a better pass than Latrell Mitchell's last year against, I think it might have been the Roosters. That pass was incredible. It's 22-4 with the kick to come. Dane Laurie's been great today. Dane Laurie's been brilliant. This pass is cutting out two players directly in the line. Marcelo Montoya can't get the ball, and Alamotti will score on the wing. That is a brilliant pass from Dane Laurie. Wowee. That's in the line, cutting two players out, just away from Marcelo Montoya trying to get to the ball, and perfectly in place for Alamotti. That might be the best pass I've seen in years. And we saw that Latrell one, I think, last year against, I think it might have been the Roosters, I'm not too sure. But that was incredible. That was incredible. Sana says, just need to beat South, but would be amazing if we can beat Storm and Titans win. Finals will be confirmed. Wrong. You are actually wrong. You don't just need to beat South. Because if the Dolphins beat the Titans and then the Dolphins win their last round against the Raiders, who might not be playing for anything, then the Dolphins just need you to lose one game. Their points difference is better than yours. So if you lose to the Storm tomorrow and the Dolphins beat the Titans have a better points differential at plus 81, you're at plus 72. The Dolphins would go above you, and the Dolphins could just win next week against the Raiders, who might not be playing for anything, and your season might be in tatters. So no, you still need the it's not just about the Roosters winning. Well, it is just about the Roosters winning, but if you do lose, like, you're very desperate for the Dolphins to lose. Very desperate. If Storm beat us, Raiders will have to play for something. Yeah, but you're also playing the Rabbitohs, who have had a lot better form recently. Just beat the Dragons 40-0, are on a 3-game win streak, are off a bye, and also will take the biggest, sexiest delight in ending your season. So it's not like you have an easy game. There will be plenty of Rabbitohs fans who get out to that at Allianz Stadium as well. That Rabbitohs game is not an easy one for Roosters fans to expect an easy win against. 20 minutes to go here of the game. Guys, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. ASM Hassan says Bulldogs better win. Well, it's 22-4. I can't see the Panthers coming back in this game because the Panthers do have 17 players out. They've rested 17 players. 16 actually, because Eisenhuth's here, but they've rested 16 players. The Bulldogs have got a full-strength team minus kick-out, basically. So I don't see the Panthers win this game. Didn't see it beforehand, don't see it now, but they've given it a decent enough show. Breeze says the NFL is called. No, that was a good try. That was a good pass. Chubby pass, Sean James, mate, it's a brilliant pass. Justin Sanders says, Storm beat us. Raiders will have to play for something. That's correct, but again, Access, but that try doesn't really matter. Access, do you realise the Panthers have got 16 players out here? Access, I think we're not watching the same game here, my guy. I think we're not watching the same game here, my guy. I really don't. The Panthers have 16 of their players out, man. Like, you got to give them credit where credit is due, mate. The defense today has actually been very good on a collective level, except for maybe the last 2 tries, but collectively they've been very good. And that pass is incredible. They're not expected to win. Moments like that is just what we're kind of looking for here from the Panthers, because they're playing against a third-place Bulldogs team with basically 1 player out, and they are huge underdogs coming into the game, and even bigger underdogs now. Like, it's not just about that pass means nothing, because at least it shows the Panthers have given it a crack here today in a lot of forms. Maybe not so much Schneider and Jack Cole, but they've given it a real good crack. It's a positive in a game that was never expected to be any positives in. The Panthers were expected to lose this game 100-0. Great take there from Paul Multi at the 10. And that's going to be a penalty here. That's a penalty to the Panthers. Penalty to the Panthers. Salva says Casey McLean. No, Jesse McLean's playing here today. Jesse McLean. Jesse McLean, not Casey. Tony passes Bunny's frothing at the possibility of ending Chookie's season. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think it's an easy game by any means for the Roosters. Tony says Dolphins losing 50-0 on Sunday anyway. Yeah, they are losing 50-0 on Sunday, mate. You're right. Look, Titans the top of the table, mine premiership team, but you've got to be honest. We've got to be serious here on the channel. You know, they're playing a really good team on Sunday. Second tackle. Soul says, Ivan Cleary 5 steps ahead of the pack. Coach of the year, surely if they win the comp again. Well, the Dally M's before the comp finishes up. No, ultimately, Coach of the year probably goes to Ricky, or it will go to... Ladder positioning-wise, it should be Andrew Webster, but I wouldn't necessarily say that. But ladder positioning-wise, you should be looking at Andrew Webster. But, you know, Sticky Ricky's been fantastic, mate. He's been fantastic for the Raiders. I would personally be saying that it should be Ricky Short right now. Give it to... Oh, shut up, Dom. Says give it to Dez. You're an idiot. So Schneider, he'll put a basic kick up to the 25, and the Bulldogs through Marcelo Montoya gets it across here to Colin Tracy. And Colin Tracy will be taken down at the 35 in first tackle. DJ Shacks, I'm going to be honest, I think presuming they end their hoodoo versus the Dragons, the Sea Eagles might just sneak into the playoffs as the number 1 seed. Well, number 1 seed is incorrect, but I give Manly a shout. Like, I think that people... the Dolphins are giving up 160 points the last 3 weeks. There's no guarantee you get for them this week, even though they're playing an awful Titans team that might have a little bit of something to play for now. They've got, you know, the avoiding the spoon, but also Des Hasler's been gone. Kieran Foran's got 2 games left, and also Josh Hannay's coming in, so they need to impress. Might have something to play for there. Look, Manly have a chance. And the Dogs will knock this ball onto the 15, so the Panthers are going to get this ball at the 15. So, and the Dolphins then play against the Raiders in the final round of the season. Yeah, look, overall, like Manly have a chance, but they've got a tougher run. They do play the Dragons and the Warriors, and the Warriors will still be fighting for a top 4 finish next week, regardless of what happens this week. Salva says, Jesse McLean and Sale, please. I don't know what Sale means. Number 8 seed, what I'm talking about, G's. What did G's me? You said number 1. It's not my fault you said number 1. It's your fault. It's not my fault. Third tackle here for the Panthers at the 40. You can't blame me for you saying number 1. Nate J says, I had Dogs won a 12 and a multi. Well, you need the Panthers to score 1 more converted try. Warsols, my Wars will finish 5th. Heard it here first. So who do you lose to then? Oh, Panthers knock the ball on. Dogs will get the ball. 0 tackle. No, it's just going to be first tackle at the 40 because Panthers pick it up. Who do you lose to? So you're saying you lose to Manly then? Because I'm sure you're not saying you lose to the Eels, because if you win both against the Eels and Manly, then you make the top 4. It's in your own hands. So that means that you're saying you lose at least one of those games, and if you lose at least one of them, I don't necessarily agree, because if you lose one game, I probably have you finishing 6th, because the Broncos, maybe not actually. No, 5th. The Broncos on my ladder probably finish 6th. If the Warriors win their last 2 games, the Warriors would finish in 4th. I've got the Sharks beating the Knights, and then the Bulldogs, who won't be playing for too much next week. So I would put the Sharks in 5th, and then the Broncos in 6th there, because I've got the Broncos to lose the Storm next week, who'd still be playing for something. Yeah. Right now, I do see Broncos in 6th. But we'll see. And also, they've had a big setback with Adam Reynolds doing his hammy. It's a knock-on from the Dogs. This game's turned into a shitter. This game's turned into a melter. Eels will get them this week. I don't agree, but we'll be live tomorrow for it. To be fair, the Eels have been better in the last couple of weeks. Except for the Rabbitohs game. In the last 3 weeks, I think they're 2-1, with one of those losses coming against the Rabbitohs, who are in form, but also beating the Roosters in the process. Panthers will be taken down. Maverick Guy gets the offload away. Panthers might be away here. They are away on the left-hand wing. And, it's a good run there from the Panthers. Second tackle at the 50. I guess if they scored here, there's a really minuscule chance of a comeback. Panthers now 40 metres out, third tackle. Stephen says Dogs are not going to make the semi-finals. Semis, they will. You're talking about preliminary finals, I'm assuming. People get this confused all the time. Preliminary finals is the second week before finals. And now the Panthers, they'll be 25 metres out, fit tackle. Diggs says, why did I just learn today that Panthers rested all regular players for this game? Well, the team list came out on Tuesday, man, so you probably should have known it before, Dickie, but welcome. Welcome to the party. Panthers will put that ball up into the air. Chase through is nice. Dogs knock it on. Panthers will score! Right next to the post, and maybe this game might have a little bit of something still to come. 22-8 with the kick to come, and you're about to see the Bulldogs in the 1-12 range, because the Panthers should get this conversion, and it's only a 12-point game. It's only a 12-point game here. Bulldogs, don't get complacent now, man. Who's telling me the Bulldogs are playing premiership material right now? Who's doing it? Who's doing it? You're not doing it. So DT says off topic, but those Ashes series are only like 2 months away now. You're going to stream those? Oh, you are very well aware that I will be streaming here just so I can slap down Seb Watson, so I can slap down Gary. All the Englishmen on this channel may. Oh my goodness. I'd normally say I feel for you, but I don't feel for you because it's going to be... I might even get some wine out. I might just sip the wine like a bit of Martin, Whitehouse. Might get the old wine out and celebrate. Not too early like Martin, though. Not too early, but we'll definitely be celebrating on those Ashes streams. We'll be live for all 5 days. Oh, maybe there's a no try coming up here, lads. Maybe there's a no try coming on up here. And don't forget, Australia play England in the Ashes and Rugby League too. So there's probably a Penrith hand here from Alamotti that goes forward here first. Dogs are going to dodge a bullet. Yep, this is going to be a knock-on for the Panthers. So this is going to be a no try, Penrith. No try. Ephraim says, I'm a Dogs fan, still have doubt their performance playing Baby Panthers. No, absolutely, Ephraim. You know, like at the end of the day, just take the 2 points and run with it. But it's just it's not been enough today to prove the doubt wrong in regards to the fact that the Bulldogs needed to bounce back and bounce back well from losing by 20 to the Roosters and then losing by 6 to the Melbourne Storm. They come into this game against a Baby Panthers team. They should have been winning this game by a lot more than what it is right now. And it's like they're going to win. They're going to get the 2 points. Anyone who's looked at this game and said grand final performance is hilarious. Like, does this tell me the Dogs are just bad? No, it doesn't. But it's not a good look after 2 straight losses to the Roosters and the Storm. And, the commentary's talking about now, you would have wanted a lot more here from Canterbury to kind of hide the doubt. And they play the Sharks next week, which is an interesting matchup with the Sharks still playing for the top 4 next week, assuming they beat the Knights. So it hasn't been enough. It hasn't been enough. But at least they'll get the 2 points, you would assume. Nature says, oh geez, here come the fun police. Yeah. Yeah, if you had the Bulldogs 1 at 12, the Fun Police definitely slapped you. Jelly Beans, is just strange actually end up in the Ashes team. We're going to have Munster and Cleary. And Tom did, so probably not. Someone says, can tell you've become one with Vietnam. Vietnamese! Xin Jacob Preston, good run. Well, not a good run. It's pathetic defense from the Panthers. And the Dogs will score basically next to the post. Hey, who misses this tackle? If I see this as Brad Schneider, I might flip up. I might flip out. Yeah, Presto with a hattie, though. Good stuff from him. But who misses this tackle? Get around you, someone member for 39 months. Who misses this tackle? It is... it's Jack Cole and whoever the number 10 is for the Panthers. Number 10 is Austin Diaz and the 6 is Jack Cole. So, yikes. Not great defense there, but the Bulldogs will get a try. 26 forward, a kick to come. 26 forward, a kick to come. Yeah, how's the old Grimsby Town? Hey, yes, I shouted them out at the beginning of the stream, Tom. Shouted them at the beginning of the stream. Excuse me, this is our song. Get this song off, Bulldogs. How dare you steal our song? Should have passed it to Critter inside of him, though. Why? You got to bet on Critter, do you? Bree says, well, it was almost interesting. It's been interesting enough. You know, I've been okay with the Penrith performance defensively, despite the scoreline. I think that they've done it right overall for a team that is New South Wales Cup against a top 3 NRL team. You know, they're okay. It's just their attack was pathetic, man. Like, again, I wasn't coming to this game thinking you'd be criticising anyone, but you do have to criticise Brad Schneider and Jack Cole for this performance here from the Panthers. Lagans has better get us off fraud right this second. No fucking way. After watching this, no way, no chance. Lagan, are you crazy? Lagan, are you crazy? you what? Lagan, Lagan, are you off your rocker? Are you off your rocker, Lagan? You want me to take you off fraud alert? Lagan, come on, man. Come on, Lagan. No chance, son. No chance, buddy. No chance, Lagan. Come back another day, Lagan, because this game ain't the one to be taking yourself fraud alert. Deary me. Dom says Lagan been drinking melted butter again. Is he... Okay, who was the one who came in before and said Dogs fans are being claimed this is premiership material? Is Lagan one of them? Is he the one? This is the one. Has Lagan been on Instagram or something going on? Going off his rocker? Lagan, come on. Come on. Oh, Jacob Currat's gone down here. God bless him, man. He's grabbing at his hamstring, and I really hope that's wrong. Yeah, no, you don't want to see that from Jacob Currat. He goes up the ball there, 30 metres out, comes down on his left leg. Oh, he might have twisted his ankle. Maybe it just might be a rolled ankle. Lagan says speaks a healthy Melbourne Storm team if we're being real. You're off your rocker, dude. So it's going to be third tackle now for the Dogs. Yeah, Jacob Currat. Oh, no, he's hurt his ankle, man. God bless him. Justin Buses, you're off your head, Lagan. Oh, no, dude. No. He's just said this Bulldogs performance here beats a healthy Melbourne. Oh, God help us, lads. God help us. God help us. I really hope this isn't too bad here for Kiraz. This makes a healthy Melbourne's incredible. Okay, so the Panthers are away at the 50. Farley at the 40, the 35. Great run there from David Farley, and I got it confirmed for me from the commentary just then that it is Farley. So second tackle now for the Panthers. Schneider back onto the inside, and now the Panthers will be taking out the 30 on third tackle. 10 minutes to go here of the game, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. We've got Warriors Eels tomorrow, plus also Storm vs Roosters, 2 big games. I can't get over Lagervoll's sake saying that this beats a healthy Melbourne Storm team. That's got to be incredible. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. So the Panthers are 20 metres out here, fit tackle. You're good value. You're good value, Logan. I don't think you mean to be good value, but you're good value. So Jack Cole, Dane Lowry, left-hand side. They've got 2-on-1 here on Crichton. Hey, give it out to Fale. Fale throws it back, and Galvin picks the ball up at the 10, and it's going to be first tackle for the Dogs. Nah, Logan, I don't believe it. I reckon you thought you're going to come in and say, that's it, I'm going to slap these people down. I'm going to tell them, you take them off fraud alert now. This has been an unreal performance from the Bulldogs. And then we've laughed at you, and now you're like, I just wanted to spice it up a little bit. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And I look extremely professional and serious right now when I say I don't believe you. I don't believe a word that's coming out of your mouth. I don't believe nothing. Fourth tackle now for the Dogs at 25. I reckon you thought that you were going to come here and say, geez, they're slapping down the four-time Premiers Panthers. Panthers top 18, well, boy. And knock on there from the Bulldogs. Knock on from the Bulldogs. Okay, says, percentage-wise, how hard do you think the Dogs have been playing, though? 70% maybe? Oh, no. They obviously come to this game expecting of a win, and that's why the performance hasn't been spectacular, but they're going to win by well enough at the end of the day. They were always going to come in without that same tenacity, but the Panthers gave a good crack in the first half, defensively speaking, just attacking-wise, not so much. But overall, the Bulldogs were always going to win this game. Logan's too busy playing with Sam. He's not watching this game. That is a valid point, Mitchell. Valid point. Breezy says it was almost 22-10 until the refs took a second look. Still fraud candidates. Not taking them off the alert. Not taking them off the alert. Panthers went onto the alert just before the game even started. Before they even started this game, I put them on fraud alert. And they will come out of their 3-game stretch against the top 3 teams of Raiders, Storm and Bulldogs without a win. It's their choice to rest all their players, so it does still get judged like that. It still gets judged on its merit because you chose, wasn't injuries, you chose to rest all your players this week. And you've come out after that big win streak with 3 losses against the top 3 teams in a row. So the Panthers now will be 4th tackled here at the 15. 7 minutes to go the game. Let's see if they can score a try here. Maybe wake Nate J up for his 2-point slumber. Eisenhuis, Schneider, great pass there. It's the first time I've actually complimented him all game. Panthers here, flick the ball back onto the 15. It's 4th tackle. You didn't need to kick that, but sure. And Bulldogs taken down to the 5 on first tackle. Nate says, piss that trainer off the field. I haven't seen a trainer incident, but I saw a couple of comments about trainers. Warnings on the sideline. Sione Fanua has been ruled out for the game. And also, don't forget, the Panthers have lost Luke Summerton, their hooker. They've also lost Sonny Luke, their hooker, who is actually looking really good when he's on. And they've lost a couple of players throughout this game. Plus, also been down a man with the bin. Like, you're not really... And Bulldogs knocked that ball on. Panthers will get the ball at the 25. Have they said knock on Bulldogs or Panthers? I don't know. I think someone's challenging this. Oh, they're going to say one-on-one strip, Luron, Patel knocks on for the Panthers. So, challenge coming up. DT says, hello, my friend, what the score? Well, I know it's really difficult. To see the score when you're not watching the game. But I'm going to play a bit of Where's Waldo with you. I'm going to play a little bit of Where's Waldo. I want you to look at the screen right in front of you. I want you to try and guess. I want you to try and guess where maybe the score might be on the screen right in front of you, DT. Maybe. Might be in front of you somewhere. We'll see. Maybe we'll see. They are challenging this here. The Panthers. Here is one-on-one. I don't know where the Panthers have knocked that ball on, though. Oh, there. Yeah, this will be a knock-on. Yep, this will be a knock-on, Panthers. It's all about blending in. A little bit of blending in. He gets 10% discount on all street food when he wears their eyes work. Mate, this is just my fashion sense. I always wear these hats on the streams. What are you talking about? DT says, my name is Joel Jim. PNG. We'll get around you in Papua New Guinea. Someone says the score is 5 counts of fraud alert for both teams. Valid. Very valid there, someone. Very valid. 6 minutes to go here of the game. Bulldogs at the 25. So Jackson Edgar has been able to come on over the Panthers. My prediction was kind of close, I guess. Yeah, well, Panthers did change up their game plan a little bit in the second half, and at least were able to score a try. That's all I needed to see. There's still time here. 5.5 minutes to go here in the game. There's still time for the Bulldogs to get close to that 36-6 scoreline, I think you said. Bond, James Bond. That's a bit random, but sure. Matt Burton, he'll be taken out at 35, 4 tackle. 4 tackle. And now James Salmon at 30, out to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin steps. And kicks it through to absolutely nobody. Does that go over the sideline for the Panthers or the Bulldogs? It's going to be play the ball Panthers here at the 10. How do you think this Panthers team goes against the Knights? Why? Why, Jossie Pass? Why? You know what? I actually think this Panthers team today would have beat the Knights. And the reason... Oh, it was actually knocked out by Jackson Edgar, so it's actually Bulldogs ball to 10 first tackle. You know what? I would have actually said that this Panthers team might have actually beat the Knights on the basis that the Knights can't attack, and this Panthers team today, for the most part, has been able to defend. Yes, they've missed a lot of tackles, but for the most part have been able to defend on a collective. And I think the Panthers could have... They would have played it very differently attacking-wise in the first half, so I might have actually taken this Panthers here today. Oh! Burton whacked in the hit at the 5. Brenton says, well, we won. Well, you won? Brenton? What did you win? What did you win? Mitchell says, nice of the Panthers to hand someone's 11-year-old son their debut. Yeah, no, always nice to see that. Jackson Edgar's getting McDonald's after this for sure. His dad's definitely taking him there. So fit tackle, 3 metres out. They go to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin, short ball to Benua. He'll throw the ball at the back, and it's going to be kicked across there from Galvin straight to the Panthers. First tackle for the Penrith at the 12. Okay, says, not trying to be a Galvin hater, but I think this was the perfect game for him to take over and show what he's got, but a little disappointing. Agreed. Scored that try, but agreed. Second tackle now at the 15. 3.5 minutes to go here in the game. DT says, my friend, what a game for tomorrow. Oh, this has been an awful game, man. But, the Dogs are going to win their game expectantly against a Z team Panthers with 16 players out. But at the end of the day, they're going to do what they need to do and get the 2 points. But ultimately, I don't think this has been an awful game to watch, actually. Like, I've appreciated the Panthers' collective defense. But, like, again, their defense on a tackle percentage is not good. It would be... Right now, they've missed 50 tackles and 18 ineffective, so... It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. They're at 84.92%, but tackles made 383. I've had 14 errors, though, the Panthers, which is a big yikes. Now it's 15 with that mistake there from Penrith as well, so the Dogs will beat the 25. But, both teams... the Dogs have just kind of done what they need to do. The Panthers have given it a crack in certain aspects of the game. But, just be happy with the 2 points for the Dogs and... move. It says Alamotti must not like the flat earthers. Katie says not trying to... Oh, that's right, I read that comment. KJ Sports says not convinced by the Dogs. Not so much, but also give credit where it's due to the collective defense of the Panthers. Sam Hughes, Reid Marnie, James Salmon, Lachlan Galvin, Bronson Seri, and he'll be 15 metres out, third tackle. Can they at least get the thrifty 30? The legend Dylan Lucas scored a hattie against this Panthers team. I don't think the Panthers played with this team this year, did they? Go to the right-hand side, Galvin. Galvin of Crichton. Jairus says, my name is Jairus Mara. Please check up with the Panthers. So come check on the Panthers, they're not good. So fit tackle now for the Dogs. They're 3 metres out. Reid Marnie, right outside to Benua. He deserves a try. He's been good today, but he will get locked down 5 metres away. 1.5 minutes to go here in the game. And 28-4 to the Dogs. Don't think it's going to... Yeah, in Origin. No, maybe. Maybe so. Did I stream that game, Brenton? I know I streamed pretty much every game, but I don't know if I streamed a couple of Knights games mid-season because I just couldn't put up with them. Second tackle. Same thing with the Titans. Dane Laurie will get this ball to the 15. Second tackle. So live ladder, Penrith are in 7th, Dogs are in 3rd. Penrith can't drop out of 7th this week, but if the Roosters beat the Storm tomorrow... Well. Penrith could still drop into 8th. Yeah, you didn't stream, many thanks. Yeah, valid. Very grateful I didn't stream that one. Someone says it's pretty crazy to think 2 out of the 4 Bulldog spy members have been either benched or dropped after securing them top 4. Yeah, no, we've spoken about this year for sure. Alamotti kicks it through, and the Dogs will get the ball at the 45. Preston off the kind of Tracy. Reed Marnie, go for a 2-point field goal, you Cats. Go for a 2-point field goal. Get the thrifty 30 from a 2-point field goal. Stephen Crichton, they're at the 50. First tackle. Take a 2-point field goal, you Cats. Logan says, I'll tell you what, it's time to book the grand final tickets now. Yeah, if you're a Raiders fan or a Storm fan, it's a good shout, Logan. Very good shout if you're a Raiders or a Storm fan. Second tackle now to 38. You're right, Logan. Good advice there for Raiders and Storm fans. Tupanua, he'll be 30 metres out. 5 seconds to go here. Take a 2-point field goal, you Cats. Go for the 2-point field goal. Here we go for the 2-point field goal. Get the thrifty 30. Matt Burton will. No. Oh, it's under the crossbar. Oh, it's under the crossbar. It's on target. But he doesn't kick the 2-point field goal. And that will complete the night. Look, my say, Dogs, take the 2 points. And be all right with the 2 points. It's not the most impressive result you've ever seen in your life, but it's 2 points nonetheless, and you will be in third position. 2 points behind the Storm. With the Storm playing the Roosters tomorrow, you've guaranteed yourself a top 4 position. Again, just take the 2 points and say sayonara, baby. Whilst the Panthers, they obviously rested 16 out of their 17 players. They didn't care for this game, and they gave it a decent enough crack, but ultimately 16 errors. They had 6 penalties conceded. They had 50 plus missed tackles. Their meters made. They did knack the 1,100, but the Bulldogs were 1,824. At least they had a completion rate of 80% there for the Panthers. But look, overall, it was just a better team there. Doggies today, nothing too spectacular, but they did get the job done. HM with the $2 dude donation says, go Canberra. Get around your HM, and good luck. We'll be live streaming your Raiders game on Saturday against the West Tigers. Tigers have nothing to play for anymore. Whilst the Raiders might have to win to stay in first, because if the Storm beat the Roosters tomorrow, the Raiders will drop out into second position, which would mean they would be playing the Bulldogs at home in the first week of the finals. But if the Raiders win out, like they probably should, then the Raiders will be taking on one of the Sharks, Warriors, or Broncos. And that would mean that the Storm will be playing host to the Bulldogs like last week. But thank you very much for the donation, HM. Sean James says, the hat made the call. See you tomorrow, mate. Mate, the hat flew today. The hat absolutely flew today. But guys, I'm going to jump off for now. I'll see you tomorrow for the Warriors taking on the Squeals, and then also the Melbourne Storm versus the Sydney Roosters. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. We will see you tomorrow. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.